Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to Hillside Stadium in a sunny Kamloops, British Columbia, as we bring this one, the final home game of this season for the Kamloops Broncos as they play host to the Langley Rams. Jamie Shinkuski sitting alongside Mike Facetuber as we bring you this one on BCFC TV, powered by Remax Treeland Langley and Remax Kamloops. And Mike, really a tale of a team searching for their first win of the season versus another trying to secure that top spot in the BCFC.
Yeah, Langley has a lot to play for right now. They're waiting on the outcome, which will happen later between Okanagan and West Shore. But if they're able to secure a victory here, then I do believe they got first place wrapped up, while Kamloops is just playing for next year, which seems to have been a regular occurrence for the last couple of years.
So we the playoff picture, Langley's going to sit 1 or 2 following the Raiders' defeat of the Huskers earlier here this afternoon. And as you mentioned, Mike, is Okanagan. They're going to play host to West Shore this evening. Okanagan needs at least a point in that one. A win will secure top spot, but for Langley, I'm sure they're going to be more than pleased to secure a home field advantage in that opening playoff round.
Yeah, they definitely want to get that home field advantage. They have a new head coach this year, well, new to the team, but not new to the league, and Coach Snoop Blocker, who I do believe is the all-time winningest coach in this conference. He's won 2 or 3 national championships when he was down in Nanaimo, and I think he's looking to do the same thing here with Langley, who's actually probably been the hottest team in the league since the midway point.
Yeah, they come in riding a 5-game win streak, and they've just been outstanding. They have a ton of all-stars. If you look at that all-star list that came out earlier this week, a lot of Langley Rams featured. We're not going to get to see the return of Maximilian Joseph, of course, a standout rookie for the Broncos last year. This year, an all-star season for Langley. He is apparently sitting this one out, and so we're going to miss his illustrious return to Hillside. But certainly, as you mentioned, playing for next year are the Broncos. Tons of young, exciting players that really want to build their resume to end this season, and for Langley, they want to punch that ticket in the top spot, but more than anything, you want to ride that momentum into the playoffs.
For sure you do, and the Broncos are probably going to come out firing on all cylinders here. They're losing 2 great leaders in Munchman and Waldy on both sides of the ball. They're very respected in the locker room, and you know that the younger guys look up to them, have a lot of respect for them, so they're probably going to want to send both those boys out with a win tonight, and hopefully we see a great game here. I mean, the weather's beautiful. It's a gorgeous day for some football.
As you mentioned, there's 6 players playing their final game in a Broncos uniform. You mentioned Derek Waldy and Curtis Munchman, 2 5-year players of the Broncos. Also joined Josh Isaac, Hudson Barabo, Samuel Schlitz, and Bryce Couture, as it'll be Couture to take this opening kickoff for the Broncos. And I'm sure guys in blue and orange here today want to get a win for their graduating players. Slight wind left to right on your broadcast screen at home. Here come the Broncos. Couture with the opening kickoff. He'll send it deep, and it'll be corralled by Clausen from his own 10. Finds a hole, can't split through the second gap. He'll be brought down just shy of his own 25-yard line.
Yeah, and we got a flag back here at the 45-yard line of Langley, so it looks like Kamloops defense is going to have the Langley offense pinned back deep, and that's a good sign for the special teams of the Broncos, which has struggled all year to get a nice tackle within the 20.
And without one of the best kick returners in the league in Max Joseph, hasn't seen too many times this year getting kick returns. Seems like their defense has been outstanding throughout the season, but the statistics when you look up and down the kick returners, Max Joseph's name, unsurprisingly, amongst the leaders again, and they're going to have to do without him here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's probably bittersweet for some of these players who'd probably like, to get a lick or 2 in on Max, but it's also good that he's not playing because he is one of the better players in the league.
Well, and good news for Langley fans, if he's out of this one, always some bumps and bruises in the tribulations of a long season like this, and certainly a chance for him to rest up heading into what's certainly going to be a great playoff match up next weekend if they draw, regardless of who they draw between the Huskers and Raiders. Looking right and unable to find his target is Duncan Little, trying to connect with Stephen Laguerre up the right side and just threw it a little too heavy.
Yeah, he was looking to head out to the wide side flat there, and he just sailed the ball a little bit, which is a good thing. That's one of the more dangerous throws to come out of the gates with. Potential for a lot of negative rather than positive. So a good start for the Broncos D.
2nd and 10 from their own 14, and out of the shotgun again comes Duncan Little. Second in passing yards on the BCFC season. He steps back in the pocket, looks right, has a man open, connects, and up the right side comes Liam Stewart with room. Now he'll be forced out of bounds as a flag flies. But first down yardage and then some for Liam Stewart.
Yeah, it looked like the wide side halfback kind of left his zone, vacated his zone. They put 3 receivers down to the bottom here. It got all the focus of the safety, and the linebackers flowed a little bit to that side, and they just ran a drag underneath, and he was able to outrun the linebacker in zone coverage over there.
Wait to sort out what the penalty flag on the play was for. They've yet to. Now they'll move the chains up. A holding call on the offense. A 10-yard penalty. But he got more than 20 on the play, so they'll still get that first down.
Yeah, the Broncos D-line is going to have to do a better job to get some pressure on the Langley quarterback, because he's, in the last 2 plays, he's had pretty much all day in there.
A pitch out. Langley trying to find a hole. Big hit up the middle, as brought down on the play was Devin DaCosta. As it didn't look like he got to the line of scrimmage. Loss of inches on the play.
That was a really good play by the DB, Andrew Berg, who was able to come up from his halfback position and take out the lead blockers. He sacrificed his body. He's not going to get credit for a tackle on the play, but without him sacrificing like that, that play goes for a lot more yards. So great job by him.
I'll call it 2nd and 11 on the score clock here. Still lots of time to operate. As out of the shotgun again comes Little. Step back, time to operate. He's got a man open in Stewart up the left side, and he'll get bumped out of bounds at the Langley 45. Another completion and some quick yardage in this game for Liam Stewart.
And that was a great job by the Langley Rams offensive line. The Broncos sent middle linebacker Midland Matson on a delayed blitz, or Madeline Mixon, and he was picked up very nice by the right guard of the Langley Rams and was able to give the quarterback time.
Well, 2 All-Stars on this Rams O-line, and Nikos Lazarakis and Ross Bakey obviously leading the charge, giving their quarterback lots of time to operate. As Little looks right, has a man open. He connects with Laguerre and just forced out of bounds. Shoestring tackle by the Broncos. I believe that's Casey Powell getting up far side with the tackle, but another first down here for Langley.
Yeah, and they went back to that wide side out, but that time the receiver was able to just outrun the coverage and turn it up the field for a big gain on a real short play. But nice throw by the quarterback. He had to put some air under it and just dropped it right in the bucket.
Well, Duncan Little doing well to add to his 2,363 passing yards coming into this game. He's thrown 16 TD passes, fakes the handoff. He'll go up the middle. Stewart's open, evades a tackle, spins away from another, finally brought down by Madeline, and another first down gained by Liam Stewart here in the opening quarter. This opening drive has Liam Stewart's number written all over it.
Yeah, that was a missed tackle there by Berg, but a nice little play by Langley as they faked the zone read to the right and just dropped it off to the backside to their big slot back, number 83, Liam Stewart.
Another fresh set of downs to operate here. Still 12 minutes remains on the clock in the opening quarter here from Hillside Stadium. The final game from Hillside on the season, the 4th. As you may remember, the earlier season games getting smoked out. A handoff trying to go up the middle. Dylan Cusker, but he's brought down right about the line of scrimmage. And so nice stop. You said earlier, Mike, that D-line needs to do better, and looks like they answered the bell there.
Yeah, they did a great job of shooting their gaps. The fullback was in for the first time, and they weren't pulling any punches. They were just going to go straight ahead and try to outmuscle the Broncos D-line, but they were up to the task, and they were able to stop them at the line of scrimmage.
Well, the 2nd and 10 here to work from the offensive 32. Out of the shotgun again, Duncan Little with time to operate. Fires it up the middle, in and out of the hands of Nick Agnoletto.
Yeah, it looks like Dylan Young got away with early contact on that play, but the referees let it go, which actually is a surprise for up here at Hillside Stadium. The last couple games I've been at, there's been a lot of laundry on the field, and it looks like the refs are going to let him play a little bit, as we've gone a whole 4 minutes without a flag thrown. Oh, I lied. There's been 2 flags thrown, so.
It's a staple of junior football, the undisciplined play. Some mistakes happen. Looks like they're going to go for it here. 3rd and 10, Little out of the shotgun with receivers in motion. Looks left. He's got a man open. It's caught by Sheldon Gangloff, but he's not going to get a first down. It'll be a turnover. Kamloops, as you see the Broncos defense, they're celebrating as they make their way off, and rightfully so. They had an opportunity to stop them, get a turnover on downs, and we'll see how the rookie Reed Venkanet can answer here in his final home game on his rookie campaign.
Great tackle by Andrew Berg to force the receiver out of bounds, or Berg. He's I've watched 3 games, and he's always been a big player on that side of the ball for the Broncos. They got a bright future with that kid.
Well, we'll see the Broncos offense go to work here for the first time this afternoon. It's a handoff for Pockernick. Looking for a lane up the right side, collides with Dawson Marchant. It looks like it'll be a gain of roughly 4 yards on the play. Nice little handoff for Pockernick. Leading rusher on the year for the Broncos, comes in with 331 yards, 2 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, and the numbers really don't reflect on how important he is to the Broncos offense. When he gets going, their offense is actually able to sustain drives. He's able to take some pressure off of the quarterback, whoever's in, whether it's Matters or Vankanet. But when he's rolling and he's running that zone option and is able to hit that backside cut, it really forces the linebackers to, kind of cheat up for the rest of it, and that gives Reed more zones open down in the middle of the field, and that's probably the quarterback's best friend, is a good running game.
An injury timeout here. It appears Marchant banged up here on the tackle, able to make the play, but in some discomfort, getting some attention from the training staff after he made the tackle. Looks to be favoring his right side in some capacity.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if the Rams are able to win this game and Kelowna loses, then they'll be playing Valley in the first round, the Huskers.
Yes.
Yeah, and regardless of the season Valley's had, Langley is the team they haven't been able to beat yet. Chilliwack's or Valley's always been that little brother in that area to Langley. Coach Bob Reese has done an excellent job of recruiting and turning that program around. So for them to have their first playoff game in probably 10 years come against the team they haven't beat is probably less than ideal for Coach Reese.
Well, it's that or head up to the Apple Bowl and face a team that's very familiar with those opening round games. So it's certainly going to be a tough task for the Valley Huskers. But this Langley Rams team, they're rolling. They struggled out of the gates. They lost 3 of 4, and they haven't looked back since. They've won 5 straight. Everybody has predicted them to come out victorious here today. Obviously, Vankanet and the Broncos looking for an answer. Finds Salipa up the left side. That's going to be a first down Broncos.
Yeah, that's going to be key for this game. He's got 2 pretty talented big receivers in Salipa and Duneveld, and he seems to be a little more comfortable in the pocket as the season's progressed. When he first started, he was jumpy. He wasn't settling in. He was looking to use his athleticism and make plays, but now he's trusting the offense and trusting his reads.
A fresh set of downs. They'll operate from their own 43-yard line. Back for Vankanet. Fakes the handoff. Has a man open in Duneveld. Connects as a flag flies on the play. And we'll see where that materializes, but it looks like a gain of halfway before the penalty.
Looks like it's against Kamloops.
As the offense marches back. We'll await the official announcement from the head official. An offside call against Matt White will send them backwards. So they'll have 1st and 15. The loss of 5 on the play before They were even able to get the play off, so Vankenet takes it out of the shotgun again. He's looking deep to the air. He's got a man open with speed. Duneville, big catch. He's got room trying to take it to the house. Tyus Duneville brought down at the 7-yard line. What a great tackle by Nathan Murray to stop him shy of the goal line, but a huge play after a penalty.
That was a great play design by Coach Neufeld of the offense. He had 3 receivers lined up in the stack on the short side, and Duneveld was the one most inside. They had the point man on the line of scrimmage, and he just ran basically a slant at the inside receiver's DB, who wheeled it up the sideline. And like you said, a great throw by Vankenet. He put a lot of air under it, let him run under, and he was able to make a nice grab.
All I heard about this kid coming into the season is he has a cannon. And like you said, he needed to find that poise. He needed to get a little experience in the league. But as of late, we're starting to see what Reed Vankenet can do. And in terms of the future of the Broncos, it certainly looks bright.
Yeah, he comes from, he actually comes from a losing high school program, but he led them to the championship game. Dakota's...
A fumble on the goal line recovered by the Rams. There's some confusion down on the field, but it looks like it was Isaiah Okole who came up with the loose football for Langley.
I'm not sure if they had blown the ball in yet or what.
No, it looks like you're right. They're not, because neither team making substitutions. So
we're going to get another crack at it. So you can expect the QB sneak again with a big quarterback like Vankenet.
He gets it back, and he will go in for a touchdown. It's Reed Vankenet calling his own number, and the Kamloops Broncos are on the board first. They'll take 6 points here. 8:42 still left to play in this opening quarter. As you're watching BCFC TV, powered by Remax Treeland Langley and Remax Kamloops.
Yeah, that was a nice drive by Kamloops. They had the one penalty that took back a play to Salipa, but on that drive, he hit both of his big receivers. Pockernick had a nice first down run for about 5 or 6 yards that opened up the pass on the next play. You saw, some differentiation by Coach Neufeld with his lineups. He showed them the RPO already and the zone read, so he's given them a couple different looks to worry about for the rest of the game. Oh, that's a penalty.
Over exuberant celebrations for a team that has struggled to put up points this year. So I guess you can't fault them for getting too excited when it does happen, I suppose, as Bryce Couture in his final BCFC contest punches the extra point through. And there you have it, 7-0. The Broncos lead early here in the first quarter. And despite getting sent back a little bit off the kickoff, I'm sure they're going to be pleased with their start. They got a big stop in their own half. Turnover on downs and a huge throw. Vankenet finding Tyus Duneveld streaking up the left side, and they punch it in and take that 7-0 lead. And really, Mike, not a ton of leads for the Broncos on the season either, so we'll see how they can deal with it.
Yeah, let's hopefully it's going to be weird playing with the lead for a change for this young Bronco team. But going back to Vankenet, last year they had Colby Hankel, who was 2 years ago the CJFL Rookie of the Year. They're very comparable. Hankel can run, Vankenet can run. They both started as youngsters coming straight out of high school. Similar build, but Reed has phenomenal arm talent. He can make any throw on the field. It's just a matter of him getting comfortable and actually trusting his OC and his receivers.
It's J.J. Jackson back for the kick return. He'll be tackled at just shy of his own 35-yard line. And it looks like Trent Price, the man to take him down. A little assistance by Jace Robert.
Yeah, Trent Price is he's a football player, that guy. He comes from Prince George. He plays fullback. He can run the ball a little bit. He's always on special teams. He's the type of guy the Broncos need to find more of, because he can really do a lot of things out there for them, and the little things to help them hopefully win a lot more games in the future.
He likes the contact.
Yes, he does.
Likes getting his nose dirty, taking the crashes and bangs. We always seem to call his number when he's out on the field. Is Langley looking to find an answer here? 8.5 remaining in the opening quarter, and it's Little stepping up through the middle, finds Agnoletto for a big game. Nice catch as Nick Agnoletto had to climb the ladder to haul that one in. And a big gain, call that 20 or so yards on the catch.
Yeah, right now Kamloops is lining up with 2 high safeties, and the sidelines are really open. If they're able to, get that information down to their OC and exploit that, then the quarterback should have a pretty big day. He kind of forced that one in over the middle, but the sidelines are wide open for the Langley Rams if they want them.
Little to the air again. He connects with Victor Belanger. He's going to have room up the left sideline, forced out of bounds by Caden Cook. But almost like you could see what was coming, Mike, as they exposed that open sideline. A nice catch and run from Victor Belanger.
Yeah, if he's able to just get some time like he's been getting and wait for his crossing receivers to get outside the hash mark, and he's sending the receivers deep on the post look, they're able to run up the sideline. There's going to be a lot of yards after the catch for the Langley receivers unless they start jamming them at the line of scrimmage, because they were just running free off the line and right across the linebacker's face.
Fresh set of downs into the offensive side of the field from the offensive 39. He looks left, has a man open in. Sheldon Gangloff still on his feet. Couldn't keep his tiptoes inside the boundary line, and he'll be forced out of bounds at about the offensive, what is that, the 18 or so. And yet another great play up the near sideline by the Langley Rams.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a couple quick adjustments. I'd think about playing the corners inside more. Well, here they got out of the cover 2 look, which is ideal. It looks more like a cover 1. They got the safety down over top of the inside receiver.
It's Little under pressure, floats it over the middle. Belanger is open, has the catch, spinning away from a defender, and he'll be brought down by Quentin Kosies.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a roughing the passer penalty too here. It looks like might be Dylan Young coming in on a blitz, or Cole Avery. One of them came in and hit the quarterback late, so it's going to be 1st and goal at the 1.
So there you have it. Correct on the call. It was Casey Powell, the guilty Bronco. And so they'll have 3 tries to punch it in 1 yard and find the equalizing touchdown in this contest.
Go see Morgan for more details.
They've got DaCosta, the lone man, coming out of the backfield. As slight delays, we get the penalty booked by the referee. And so they'll be ready to try and punch this in 1st and goal for the Rams. Trying to call his own number. And we don't know, does he have it?
No signal yet.
Looks like not quite. Don't have any arms up from an official. We've got a successful goal line stand on the first opportunity. Trying the quarterback sneak was Duncan Little.
Great job by the Kamloops Broncos D-line to shoot the gaps on that one.
Crediting Logan Fields with the touchdown from the statistician's booth.
That brings up 2nd and 1.
With 2nd and 1, they'll bring back out Dylan Cusker.
Watch the big fullback on the dive here.
Hands off to DaCosta, trying to punch it in. Stopped. Munchman and Fields teaming up to stop them. And back-to-back goal line stands for the Broncos. You think Munchman came to play in his final game as in his junior career?
Well, unfortunately, there's a flag on the wide side of the field. Hopefully it's not against the Broncos for encroachment. Oh, nice. Oh.
So 2 penalties against Curtis Munchman. Offside and unnecessary roughness. And so that gives a fresh opportunity for the Rams. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1 as they made this stand, and it's going to be discipline to their demise yet again. The unfortunate story of the season.
It's going to be tough to do it 3 more times because with the ball lined up on the hash like that, there's no chance Langley's kicking a field goal whatsoever. So they're going for it 3 times here.
Fake handoff, rolling right is Little, throws it to the air. It's caught in the end zone. Credit Nick Agnoletto on the touchdown.
Nice little play, sucked everybody in with the fake dive up the middle, bootleg, and the DB who was covering Aguilado really had no choice. It was either come up and make a play on the quarterback or stay with the receiver. Either way, the quarterback was going to walk into the end zone or the receiver was going to catch it, so he was kind of caught. Can't blame him for that right there. There was no contain. Everybody got sucked in. Nice play call by the OC for the Rams.
And a bit demoralizing for the defense after they get the back-to-back stops, and then, as you mentioned, a terrific play. The extra point, low but good off the foot of Jaden Sheelan. And we're tied at 7s here, 5:36 still to play in this opening quarter here on BCFC TV, powered by Remax Treeland Langley and Remax Kamloops.
Yeah, well, 7-7, you know, the Broncos had the lead for a little bit. The defense let them run up the field a little too freely. Hopefully they can make some adjustments. They understand what Langley is trying to do with their offense in terms of having receivers come across the middle and just run up the sidelines. Good defensive stand. Unfortunate penalty taken by the fifth-year guy, Munchman. But, you know, it's to be expected with a team that's 0-9. They're going to have some mistakes that kind of cost them. It's just the habits you get with not winning that often, so hopefully it doesn't affect them too much for the rest of the game, because 7-7 is a positive for the Broncos as of right now.
Kickoff coming deep and into Andrew Pockernick's corner. Number 2 in the league in kick return yards, and he's going to take big contact. Ball appears to be loose. They're going to say Broncos have it, as he couldn't handle it. That kick perfectly placed just short in front of him and took an awkward bounce.
Yeah, he's got to push up on that. I mean, you can see the flags flying in the corner there, and also Langley went for it when they were on the 35-yard line, so they know their kicker doesn't have a strong leg. I don't know why they had him lined up or why he chose to line up so deep. He's got to come up, and with that high, short kick, he might be able to make the first guy miss, and the blockers are going to be engaged, so there could be a lane or two for him to find because he is a talented kick returner.
He's got second most yards in the BCFC this season, both kick returns and punt returns, as Vankenet will hand it off to Trent Price, finds a hole, rumbles up the middle. It'll be just shy of a first down, called a gain of 7 or 8 for Trent Price.
Yeah, that's a nice run, just straight up the middle. No read option there for the quarterback. It was a give all the way, and, you know, occasionally the Hoggies get kind of frustrated with all the zone read option stuff, and they just want to get into one guy and push him back, and they were able to do a good job there.
A second down, not a lot left to go here for Vankenet and company. He'll give it right back to Price. He'll rumble back up the middle. That will certainly be a first down, as Trent Price loving to take the contact, asking for it as he's rumbling up the middle on back-to-back handoffs.
Yeah, he does a good job of fighting through the arm tackles there. So if the O-line's able to stay engaged with their block, especially on the first level there on the D-line, then he's going to get into the backers, and his size is able to negate some of the smaller backers that the Rams have.
Out of the shotgun again. Fake handoff, short pass for Timmy Salip off the right side. He's surrounded by a sea of white uniforms. He'll be brought down, but he will gain about 5 on the play.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Neufeld's doing a good job mixing it up. We've seen a couple different looks. We've seen pretty much everything that he wants to show, and he's going to have Langley's defense on their heels here.
One of the Rams making contact with the football, and the perhaps biased crew in the press box calling for a penalty. We're not going to have one. 3.5 remains on the clock here in the first. It's Vankenet out of the shotgun. Tied at 7. And he's got an open. Trent Price takes the catch, rumbling forward, trying to gain the first down. He's brought down by a pair of Rams in Joel Klassen and Anthony Blackwell, and they're going to give it to him. That'll be a first down. Trent Price doing most of the work himself so far on this drive.
Yeah, it's a good job by Vankenet to step up in the pocket. Actually, 53, the right tackle here, has his hands full as Sky King, number 55 for Langley, leaves. But Sky was an all-star this year, and number 53 for the Broncos is Jordan Smith, who is a younger O-lineman, and he was able just to ride him outside, and Vankenet was able to step up as the interior of the line was able to give him a passing lane and dump it off to the back. But nice run by Price to break through those two tackles.
Having himself a game early on here, Trent Price. Haven't seen the return of Andrew Pockernick since he took that hard contact off of that most recent kickoff.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting his hand worked on down there. He's still with the trainers, and they're just wrapping him in ice right now. So he could be out for a couple series at least.
I have to figure it won't be the last we see of him this afternoon. No, tough guy. He is out of Salmon Arm, I do believe. Oh, 1st and 10 from the 42. It's a handoff again to Price, trying to find a hole up the middle, runs into his own lineman. He'll be brought down by about 5 Rams. It'll be a short gain, about 3 yards on the play for Price.
And out of the games that I've seen this year, this is the best the Broncos O-line has looked in the run game. They haven't been pushed back. Everything has been going forward. Like you said, if Price doesn't run into his own lineman on that play, he's probably got 3 or 4 more yards, and they're facing 2nd and short. So the O-line's doing a good job up front right now.
It'll be 2nd and 7 here for the Broncos. Vankenet again operating out of the shotgun. Looks for Salepa, has a man open. The catch and the first down. Temi Salepa, credit the tackle to Kyle Claret. And that's a catch, Mike, that game 1 of this season, Salepa was not coming down with. The ball was going to be a bit too high, a bit too low, that time right in the midst. And you just see that's the improvement of this offense with all those guys eligible to come back next year.
Yeah, and they're going to have that chemistry that they make with their quarterback. Hopefully they come into town a couple weeks early and develop even more. So, yeah, they're two good receivers that they have on this team, that's for sure.
Handoff again to Price, finding some room to rumble up the middle, gain of about 5 on the play.
Yeah, I think Price actually does have what it takes to be a feature back in this league. Like I said, he doesn't have the greatest moves, but when he sees a hole, he hits it hard, and as long as you're falling forward and getting 3, 4, 5 yards of carry, putting your quarterback in 2nd and short, the offensive coordinator is going to keep giving you the ball, but unfortunately, he's at the training table now too.
And it took a big hit on that last run. We'll see Sam Hill come into the backfield now, the rookie from Calgary making his debut in this contest. As Vankenet looking deep in left, he's got a man open, it's brought down. Soklovsky takes it to the house. Gabe Soklovsky with a touchdown, Broncos, and they retake the lead here in the latter stages of this opening quarter.
Yeah, that was a great pattern by Soklovsky. It looked kind of like the cornerback was not supposed to be in man-to-man, and he kind of jumped the underneath route and left the deep third wide open, and Soklovsky just ran a corner from the inside slot position, and he was able to outrun the safety to the ball. It was a nice throw by Vankenet. There's a tendency to kind of throw that ball too far because you want to throw it at the end zone, but a great pattern because he left himself a lot of room for the quarterback to drop it in. A lot of receivers will head to the sideline too shallow, and they're kind of stuck in a bad position, but that time he kept it high, and he gave the quarterback a lot of room to drop it in.
Extra point splits the uprights, and they retake a 7-point lead. The 50-yard touchdown pass. Vankenet connecting with Soklovsky, and not only giving himself room to make the pass, finding that separation from the defenders as soon as he caught it, taking the smart lane to the end zone, evading the tackles, and, well, he'll take the hit right at the goal line because that's going to count no matter how he goes in.
For sure. I mean, he's a really good athlete. I've seen him return punts and kicks. I haven't seen him in the passing game too much, but if you line him up inside, whether it's zone or if you get him inside that position on a linebacker, he could do some damage. And nice play by the Broncos. I think it must have been a while this year since they've had 2 touchdowns on their first 2 drives of the game.
Certainly the best they've started at home this season. It's going to be up there with their higher point totals on the season. If they can keep this up, they may just have themselves their best game of the year, as it's going to be Jackson on the return. Nice tackle from Dylan Young able to knock down J.J. Jackson at the Langley 29. And we'll see if this Rams crew, led by Duncan Little, can march their way right back down for another touchdown. Answer this here. So we got 40 seconds remaining in this opening quarter.
That was a really nice job by number 44, Jace Robert of the Broncos. He worked his way down the field and blew up the wedge. If he had his head up, he would have been able to deliver quite the blow to the kick returner, but he did a great job of blowing up the wedge, and his buddies were there to back him up.
From their own 29 is the clock winding down here on the opening quarter. It's Little out of the shotgun. Steps back, has some time to work with. Up over the middle, has Agnoletto open. He'll be brought down. But it looks like he has first down yardage, as Casey Powell wasn't able to stop him quite in time. That will be a gain of 11 on the play. Move the chains up as we look towards our final play of this opening quarter.
Yeah, the D-line has got to get some pressure because right now the quarterback is just sitting down. He's not even looking at any pressure coming from him. He was looking to the one guy who was crossing to the right, and he got off him right away because he got picked up by Madeline and was able to come back. So he's working through his progressions pretty good.
Here comes the pressure. Pass is just going to be out of the reach of Victor Belanger. Great pass rush there from the Broncos, as that will put curtains on the opening quarter. 14-7, the Broncos leading the Rams here in their final game on this season from Hillside Stadium. And it's a couple long passes from Reed Vankenet really making the difference so far. The first one just shy of the goal for Tyus Duneveld, able to punch it in himself. It was answered by that Nick Agnoletto touchdown, and then the huge 50-yarder to Gabe Soklovsky. And that's where we sit right now. We'd have to check deeper into the ledger, but I'm going to venture a guess that this is the first time the Broncos have led this season coming out of the first quarter.
I would probably venture that guess as well. And, you know, to have 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter, to score on both your drives in the first quarter, it's a great sign. But it's too bad it's in the last game of the season because there's, you know, really no way to keep the momentum going.
It'll be 2nd and 10 here to get the second stanza going. Little again operating out of the shotgun. Looking right, has a couple men open. Is going to be caught by Belanger coming backwards. And close to a first down again.
Yeah, again, I mean, he has all day to get back there. They got to figure something out. What I would like to see is actually them take the 4D linemen, send a couple backers, or send a backer in a weak side half, line up in man. Let's see how your athletes do against their athletes. You got really nothing to lose here. You're just playing for pride right now, so, you know, man them up. Oh, perfect.
And everybody tossing a flag on this play.
That also helps. So 3rd and 1 turns to 3rd and 6. I just got a text message from the boss, and apparently Snoop Blocker was removed as head coach 3 weeks ago. So my apologies to Coach Howie Zarin and the rest of the Langley Ram staff.
So that'll be big momentum shift here for the Broncos, able to stop the Rams on their own side of the field for the first time here this afternoon.
Looks like the wind has died down, so the Broncos should have pretty good field position. And right now, the last 2 drives, they've shown a lot of strong signs of putting a lot together.
High kick from Jeevan Kotoy. It's going to bounce into everyone. Looks like you're going to be corralled by the knees of perhaps it was Josh Isaac. And flags flying all over the place.
That's it's tough for the punt returner to kind of venture into that big mess of people, but you have the no yards penalty in effect, so even if you drop the ball, like here, the ball landed, hit a Bronco player, but with the Rams within the 5 yards, it's going to be Bronco ball anyway. You just got to come up and, make a catch, because if that ball takes one bounce backwards on a short punt like that, the punter is able to pick it up, and now all of a sudden it's Langley Ram ball again. So hopefully he makes the necessary adjustments next time.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, the wind definitely didn't have any impact on that ball. It went skyward. But you mentioned it, the wind not only died down, it stopped coming upfield, kind of going crossfield now. You always see the swirling winds here in Kamloops, but it's going a little bit northward on this east to west field. So perhaps a bit of an advantage for Vankenet and his big arm here in the second quarter, because Little had to throw upwind when they were going right to left on your broadcast screen at home. Vankenet fakes the handoff. Pockernick is back into the game. Throws one up. That's going to be out of the reach of Salipa. Great pass rush by Charles Noy.
And that, I've said it each game that I've seen Reed play. If he just does not try to break the pocket every time, he started going out, if he's able to set up, and there's going to be a little passing window for him to throw in, but because he's such a good athlete and had such success at the high school level, he's trying to outrun these guys, and he's got to learn that his athleticism can put him in position to throw, and he doesn't have to beat anybody with his legs.
Going to the air again. He's going to have a man open, but it's not going to find him. An interception. Kyle Claret coming down, the pass intended for Matt White, and it just looks like he lost the handle on where the pass was going. Claret had it all the way, and that'll be a pick, and a big one here for the Rams, although they do have a big man in some discomfort. Sky King, their all-star D lineman, banged up on the play, getting some assistance from the training staff.
Yeah, that's the case of a young quarterback going for the kill right away, looking to give his team a shot in the arm, some momentum. When in reality, if they're able to sustain a drive and pin Langley deep, I think that's more beneficial, because it shows that they're able to sustain drives, they're able to move the ball consistently, rather than just relying on the big play. But, you throw 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter, you score on all your drives, all of a sudden you think everything's clicking and everything's going to show up. I mean, he had one-on-one coverage, yeah, but if you have that and you're going to throw a ball up, just make sure it's to one of the big receivers, not one of the smaller ones, who's going against a DB who had quite the size advantage on him.
So after a bit of an awkward punt and an interception, we're pretty much right back to where we started this quarter, save about 10 yards on the Rams side of the ball here, as they'll take it from their own 24. Sky King gingerly making his way to his own sideline, but able to do it under his own power. So good news for the Rams faithful watching here. Well, just inside 13 to play, 1st and 10 from their own 24, and under center yet again, Duncan Little. Little, handoff to Costa, trying to find a lane. He's going to be stuffed by the Broncos defense, as Devin DaCosta really hasn't had an opportunity to get anything going so far in this contest, as they are missing their all-star running back Maximilian Joseph in this contest.
Yeah, that was a good job by Logan Fields of the Broncos defensive line, number 99. He was able to get some penetration. They tried a fullback, just a straight power to the right side, and Logan Fields, the D tackle, was able to get some penetration and kind of stop that one in its tracks. So that's a very nice job by him.
Out of the shotgun again, 2nd and 8 for Little and company. Under pressure, he's going to dump that one off in and out of the hands of Nick Agnoletto. And we're going to have 3rd down situation yet again. Nice quick 2 and out here for the Broncos D.
Great job by number 60 for the Broncos. That's Damian Pearson, who was able to come around the edge. He should have got the holding call on the left tackle who was trying to block him, but he was able to flush the quarterback from the pocket. Nice downfield coverage by the Broncos, force a bad throw, and they're going to get the ball back again. And hopefully the punt returner moves up a couple yards here, because guessing by them not kicking the field goal and guessing by that last punt, I'm saying Langley does not have a healthy kicker on their roster right now.
Well, they've got their all-star receiver taking the punting duties here today. Another sky-high kick. Back for it is Soklovsky. Able to come away with it clean. He'll be knocked out of bounds just before half. Soklovsky knocked out at about their own 52. So not bad field positioning to work with here with 11:37 remaining on the clock. And another player getting some attention from the training staff.
Yeah, he took a pretty good shot on the sidelines there. He was running a little bit too high, and I think the training staff's going to take a quick look at him. But yeah, like you said, the Broncos are going to have nice starting field position. Hopefully they can, or Reed shows a little bit of patience now on this drive and doesn't just go for the home run shot. Because if you're able to maintain some sort of drive, there's still 11 and a half minutes left in the second quarter. If you're able to pull the clock down a little bit, come away with any type of points here, especially for a young team like the Broncos, you're going into this game 0-9, you're playing a potentially first-place team. You want to gain some confidence any way possible, and big plays come and go, but a sustained drive does a lot for the confidence of the offense. You give the defense time to rest. The coaches can talk to them, talk about what they're seeing out there, adjust any schemes or plans, and come together as a football team here in this last game.
Well, it's been a few trying seasons here for the Broncos. It's going to be their third straight season missing the playoffs, but Valley Huskers are proof you can turn it on a dime in this league. I know they surprised a lot of people this year, but they've punched a playoff ticket, and I'm sure the Broncos going to look to copy that in some form heading into the offseason.
Yeah, hopefully they can have a good offseason in recruiting. They do have probably the most important position filled right now with the young quarterback in Vankenet. Valley was able to go through the youth sports pipeline. They got some Manitoba Bisons, they got some other guys from out east, and if they're able to get out there, sell their product, it's a great place to play. You got the university. It could happen for them just as well.
Fakes the handoff, looking deep to White again. This time it's going to fall incomplete. Both guys looking for interference calls.
I think that's going to be on Kamloops, actually.
And so it looks like I don't see a flag on the play as of yet. Maybe one from back here. I'll stand corrected. There is one further in the backfield. Just off the line of scrimmage. It will go against Kamloops, so move them back.
Yeah, it perplexes me why they went back to that play again. You just threw an interception on the same play. I can only assume the receiver went back after and talked with the coach, said, I can get him, but it's just not there. There's got to be something a little bit better, something over the middle, something where you isolate one of the receivers on a linebacker, or you're able to suck the safety up and get a post in over top. But picking on number 21 with Matt White just isn't working right now.
Now, it will be an offensive pass interference call against White. 15 yards, repeat the down, so it's 1st and 25 here for Vankenet and company. He'll hand it off for Pockernick, who's stuffed by all kinds of Rams at the line of scrimmage.
I'm not too... Oh.
And flags flying all over after the play.
I was just going to question the play call on 1st and 25. You have had success in the run game, but at 3, 4, 5 yards a pop, and 2nd and 20 isn't too appealing. You want to kind of take a look at trying to get half of the yardage back or 10 yards of it back, make it manageable. But they're able to get a penalty call here, so it kind of worked out.
Ironically, I think they got some of the yardage back, probably not the way they drew it up. But that football's marching right back the other way, so...
Keep that play call in the book.
So they get marched back 15. They get marched right back up 15. And pretty much 2 non-existent plays. The only thing that's going to change is the ball positioning, as Pockernick was stopped for a bit of a loss, but it's a fresh set of downs here with that unnecessary roughness penalty late.
And they got Price in the H-back look. Let's see if they try and do something different. I've seen them use this, but they haven't really used him in the passing game.
A handoff to Pockernick, gets around the first tackle. He'll get a short gain here before he's brought down. And we've got another Langley player in some discomfort as We'll have to pick up a number on this, but the player down, and he was down right off the snap. It appeared.
Yeah, he was able to get penetration and tried to grab. Well, he didn't really break down enough and was able, or tried to arm tackle Pockernick, who just ran right through it. So you can only suspect that it's some sort of shoulder injury.
This is the one thing Langley has to be really cognizant of. Naturally, you want to secure that first place position. You want to have it, but you need to have your guys healthy. And there hasn't been malicious plays in this game, but there's certainly been some hard hits. Broncos certainly look like a team that don't want to go 0-10, and they're pushing for every yard here. Unfortunately for Langley, they're just getting bumped and bruised, and that really could be detrimental to them heading into the postseason.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Like you said, you want to play for first place, but you also have to be aware that, last week Kamloops played Kelowna really tough, and the week before that they were only down 5 points at the half against Nanaimo. So they're young, the Broncos. They're flying around. They're hitting. Like you said, there's been nothing malicious. But, yeah, what do you do in this situation if you're Rams? You can't rest anybody because you want that first place. It's not like the NFL or CFL where you win first place, you get a bye week. You got to play the next week regardless, and you'd rather play at home, sleep and have the players sleep in their own beds, wake up with the familiar routine. So you're exactly right. It's kind of like devil's two-way here. You're not too sure what to do.
It'll be Shaquille Niker, number 98 for the Rams, making his way off the field after that hit. And to that point, Max Joseph not playing. Haven't seen a ton of many of their all-stars, and we'll see if Sky King even checks back after taking that knock earlier. There's a nice pass up. Tyus Duneveld, first down, and separates himself. Nice move around the defenders. Inside, outside, and Duneveld going to be taking it all the way to the 20. Tyus with a first down and earned himself a huge gain after that.
Yeah, great play. That was a great throw by Vankenet. He put that on him right away. As soon as he was out of his break, it was right there. It was to the sidelines. It wasn't thrown back inside, and it gave Duneveld momentum towards the sidelines to keep running, and that's a nice piece of open field running. He's a big guy, but he was able to show some kind of like phone booth type moves where he's able to make a lot of moves in low space.
So from the 19, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Another chance to get on the board. A handoff to Pockernick. He's looking left. He's going to be swarmed by the defense. They're not going to get fooled by that again. Looks like a loss of 1 on the play.
I think that play is kind of throw-it-away play. And what I mean by that, I think Jesse Neufeld, Coach Neufeld, is showing that because the bootleg action out of that was wide open. He had the O-line wash, all of them towards that side, so I think he might be setting up for something later off of that same look.
And certainly in the range of Bryce Couture after struggling some last season. He pitched in for a struggling Landon Monk, who went 2 for 6 on field goals. Bryce has gone 3 for 4 this season. He's potentially going to have an opportunity, but Vankenet looking for Tyus in the end zone. The dive cannot hang on to it. Pass falls incomplete, but what an effort by Tyus Duneveld as he came oh so close to the major.
Yeah, great effort by the receiver to fight back inside. Vankenet can do a better job of throwing that ball towards the outside because Duneveld did have a step on the DB. He did fight hard. He was able to get both hands on the ball, which is unfortunate because my belief is if you get both hands on the ball, you got to catch it. So they kind of missed an opportunity to get some points there. But again, couple nice plays in that drive, aided by the penalty. But Vankenet showed a great throw to that, or great arm on that throw to Duneveld, and Broncos have the opportunity for more points here.
Bryce Couture, his final BCFC game, he's going to put the field goal up for 3 points. And Bryce Couture now 5 points on his own merit here in his swan song junior career. And kudos to 15 in blue. I think if you're going to go out, you want to put some points up on the board.
Yeah, you want to create some memories of your last game. As I'm sure especially the two 5-year Broncos, Munchman and Waldy, want to put up.
Well, you heard a few guys around the field saying it earlier. No, not the season they wanted, but let's do it for Waldy and Much. You know, those guys who have been here, they started when this team was at the peak of what this football program has been, and now they've had some turmoil, but you're playing for those guys and the other 4 who are playing their final game tonight. You're playing for your pride, for your future, and you can see it in their play tonight. They really look like they're a hungry team on the field.
Yeah, Waldy's had a good career. He was on the O-line when I was coaching. I got to see him become an all-star, and it's good to see him become an all-star again in his final year. He's had a couple training camps with the BC Lions. He's going to be finishing up his school. He's volunteer coaching at South Cam. Just a great guy to have in the locker room, great guy in the community. From Kindersley, Saskatchewan, actually. I drove across Western Canada this summer and drove through his hometown. Beautiful place, actually. And so I believe he is heading back home once he's done here. I'm not too sure if he is wanting to continue his football career or if he's going to go back and be on the farm with the rest of the family. It's always enjoyable to talk to him about that stuff.
He did mention in an article, nicely done by Kamloops This Week's Marty Hastings this week, that he did plan on pursuing further education, whether football's involved. I guess that's yet to be seen. Obviously, the Prairie's some very well-known football programs around there, so opportunities there if he wants it, and it's certainly been a pleasure to watch him here in the blue and oranges. Nice screen out to DaCosta. He's going to catch it, not going to find a gap and get a first down, but a nice little quick play as Little finally getting some action with DaCosta out of the backfield.
Yeah, just a nice quick release. Try to get some momentum going again for Langley. Like I said, that quarterback is going to have time, and especially in a 3-step drop situation. And the Broncos did a good job rallying around the ball and stopping him short.
It'll be 2nd and 5 here for Little and company from their own 40. And he'll operate out of the shotgun, step back with lots of receivers in motion. Under pressure, Robert couldn't get the sack. The ball's up and into the bench, just too far for Stephen Laguerre.
And that was the other Berg brother, Michael, who, I don't know, he was able to latch on to number 15, I believe is the all-star receiver, Jevon Cottoy for Langley. The quarterback, Duncan Little, was staring him down the whole way across the field, but Berg did a great job of picking it up, and Little had to come off that. And by that time, the pressure had come to him, and he was just able to throw it away, like you said.
It'll be Cottoy again on the punt, and this one's got a lot more leg behind it. Pockernick going to be chasing it back, taking some funny bounces, and a no yards flag will fly on the play, but no fault of the Rams special teams as Pockernick goes up, saying the ball's loose, recovered. There's all kinds of hands flying around. And we'll see what the officials have to say. There was a flag back before the ball was even picked up.
We can only hope that's a no yards penalty again.
And a big discussion. Langley bench thinks it's their ball. And so it looks like they're marching it right back to an illegal block was the call, not no yards. And that
the referee sounded a little disappointed when he was announcing that. It sounded like he's kind of uninterested in throwing that flag or calling that penalty.
And they gave it to number 32, who is not on the roster, so not sure if we've got a guy who switched numbers or if they got that number incorrect. We'll rectify that at some point. Either way, from their 22, here come the Broncos, and Vancanet again fakes the handoff. Nice block from Pockernick. Over the middle, Salipa's open, and he's going to be close to a first down if he's not there. We'll see how they spot it, but that's some good teamwork right there as Pockernick saw two guys coming and blocked them both successfully. And Vankenet, see, there you have it, not getting too greedy. You
That's
mentioned it. Nice, simple play. Salipa with the nice, quick hands.
Yeah, and like you said, Pockernick did a great job. He had to carry out the fake and pick up the 2 free guys coming in, and Vankenet threw it on a dime for Salipa.
So they'll call it 2nd and 1 here for the Broncos. This time they'll call Pockernick's number. He's taking more. Here comes Pockernick with room to spare. He'll be taken down by the all-star DB in Kyle Claret, but had Claret not been there, he was gone. What speed. He just had that little hole and little burst from Pockernick. He was away.
Yeah, great job of seeing the backside cut and exploding through. When you run that zone read, you have the old line flowing one way, so the D line follows, and if you're able to catch the backside linebacker flowing a little too hard, that backside lane is wide open.
Right from midfield, they get a fresh set of downs, and Reed Vankenet looking to put more points up on the board here inside 6 to play in the opening half, and he's rolling outright. Vankenet with man open up the right side. He'll find him. Staying on his feet, Darian Pritchard. Nice catch from Pritchard. And that'll be a gain of about 21, let's call it, as Reed Vankenet, he's having himself a first half.
That's a great job to get him out of the pocket on a bootleg, and he was able to throw a beautiful ball on the run to the far sideline. Just showing off all of his talents right there, his mobility, his arm, his accuracy. Really nice play by the Broncos.
1st and 10 from the offensive 38. A handoff to Pockernick. He's stopped but finds a second wind. It'll be a short gain as a flag hits the deck. And it'll be against the offense. We'll see if they'll confer and re-confirm here, but I think I saw a holding call on the offense, and seeing what the result of the penalty is. And it is a holding penalty, so that'll march them back 10 yards. They will get to repeat that first down, but I think you'd take 2nd and 8 over 1st and 20.
Yeah, definitely.
No, they're not. I'm not a football official, but if he said 10 yards, I don't think they marched it back far enough from where the chains are sitting. No, I just can't count properly. We're fine.
Looks like we got another penalty on the Broncos.
Offside. So the first one was against number 62, Rylan Anderson. And that'll pretty much undo that nice pass to Pritchard we just saw, as they'll go back some more. And this time the penalty against Timmy Salipa. And so they'll go right back to midfield. An offset of about 2 yards from that earlier pass to Darian Pritchard. And with 4.5 remaining here in the second quarter, 1st and 25 for the Broncos. Vankenet out of the shotgun under pressure. He's got man open in Pockernick, finds him with the short shovel pass, and well, that's going to be better than a sack without a doubt, as he'll rumble across the 50, and he'll go about just shy of halfway between that, so making something out of nothing are the Broncos.
Yeah, you had Sandu, one of the D linemen for Langley, come in scot-free, and like you said, made something out of nothing. Good awareness by Vankenet to know where his check-down receiver was. He got it to him, and Pockernick did a good job to get 4 or 5 yards.
Well, that was good speed, too, from Partap Sandu. He was coming in quick, and like you said, he used that athleticism to his advantage, and Vankenet able to make the play. He'll take it out of the shotgun again, dumping it over the middle to Pockernick. He's going to need a big gain, and he's going to get much of the way there. It looks like he'll still be 3rd and 8. That's not going to be enough to push it, but is it going to be Bryce Couture field goal territory?
Looks like it might be a punt. The defense has been playing well. Why not pin him deep? Hopefully he can angle this to the sideline. He doesn't want it to go into the end zone. A single point really doesn't do much, but if you're able to pin him within the 10, the way the defense is playing right now, you'd take that over anything.
Well, with 3 minutes on the clock, you have to think, like you said, the way the D's been playing, you can probably take this lead to halftime if you play it smart. So the punt team's out. One man back for the Rams. And Bryce Couture aiming for the near sideline, gets a awkward bounce, and Joel Clausen going to go nowhere with it as two flags hit the deck.
That's too bad. It took a bad bounce for the Broncos, and then it hit one of their own players. So there's going to be a no yards penalty added onto that. As it is right now, that's about a net 14-yard punt.
Not the result they were looking for. Unfortunate bounce. It's too bad he couldn't get it rolling. I'm going to forget his name, the new punter in Seattle for the Seahawks. An Aussie guy who kicks it. He's got a rugby-style kick, and he's got the rolls.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I think the Couture wish he had on that bounce. But
definitely.
You're watching the game last week, the commentators were just baffled at how this new punter could just get the ball to bounce any which way he wanted to. And, well, kind of the opposite scenario here for the Broncos. And as you mentioned, just took a funny bounce into the back of Jace Robert, who was coming up trying to make a block. And they'll take it from the 26.
Yeah, he must have been pretty good to knock out John Ryan, who was there for a long time. We actually played against John Ryan when he was about 18, and then we played against him in university. So he's actually one heck of an athlete, that guy was.
Little open man over the middle. He'll pop it through and connect with Liam Stewart. Not going to be the gain they were looking for.
No, and, the Broncos have forced the action back into the middle. They're taking away those sidelines that were open at the start, making them go underneath, and then they're just swarming to the ball. They do actually have some good young athletes at linebacker there with Casey Powell and Jace Robert and Darby Kwan, who's been moved up to more of an outside rush linebacker. But the young linebackers are doing a great job flowing to the ball. 2nd
and 6 here, 2:10 on the score clock. Little under pressure, able to roll right. He's going to call his own number, and he's going to find the first down and more as he'll slide through underneath Jace Robert. And there's the late flag coming, much to the chagrin of Troy Mello and the Broncos D.
How big is that receiver for Langley? How big is Cottoy? He's got to be 6'4", 6'5", because he was looking almost eye level with Munchman on that play, and I think Munchman's about 6'6".
You want to know why he's an all-star with that, that size?
Jeez, he's a big man.
They haven't used him a ton here tonight, other than punts.
Yeah, you're right.
But, I mean, expectedly so for a team that's punched home field advantage for the first round. You kind of expect them to rest some of their featured targets.
Yeah, if you're going to use him, you're going to use him deep. You're not going to have him over the middle. You're not going to have him running short hitches where people can come into his legs or anything like that. So
match him up against a small safety and hope for the best maybe later in the contest here. As out of the shotgun works Little. He'll go over the middle. Stewart's open, trying to find a lane. Can't get around the defender in Quinton Kosies, but nice gain. Will get about halfway, 60% to a first down.
Yeah, it's a very basic offense that Langley's running right now. You can see that the quarterback only has 2 reads, and he stays on his first read for quite a long time because if he was able to get off that one, he had Cottoy one-on-one with the safety, and I'd take that matchup any day.
Well, 2nd and 4, and out of the shotgun again. Comes Little over the middle to Stewart, and he'll haul that in for a first down. Langley here, $1:35 up on the score clock, so certainly more than enough time to march the rest of the way and bring this back within a field goal.
I think it's time for the Broncos to try to switch to predominantly man defense right now down at this end of the zone because or down at this end of the field, because their zone is getting eaten up. All what they're doing is sending guys across the linebackers, and then they're sending the wide receivers in trail motion where those linebackers and halfbacks were, and it's wide open.
Out of the shotgun again comes Little, looking left. Got a man open in Liam Stewart again. May as well keep calling 83 while it's working. And that looks to be enough for a first down. They will move the chains, and, well, when you're hot, you're hot. Keep calling Stewart's number.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say, right?
Getting a little instruction. Here is, they'll play this from the 25. Have to wonder what the field goal range might look like here for the Rams tonight. You mentioned it earlier, saw them opt to try and go for it off the top of the game. As Little, he's going end zone. He's got Cotoy open, and he's going to make no mistake. Haul that one in. That'll be his 10th touchdown of the season. And the All-Star hauls it in and brings it back.
Yeah, he is. He hasn't done much, but just watching him out there move around, I'm very impressed. He looks like one of the better receivers I've seen. I never got a chance to see that Mike West for VI. Kelowna's offense has had a little bit of trouble. West Shore I didn't get a chance to see, and those two guys for the Huskers are excellent receivers, the former Bisons. But this kid looked like he has serious potential where he could be a difference maker on the next level at U Sports and maybe even somewhere after that.
So I missed what the penalty call was, but it's going to negate the touchdown, bring it back.
He was making snow angels. There's no snow, so they didn't appreciate it.
So we're going to have first and many situation from the 31.
Oh, they didn't call the touchdown?
They didn't call
I thought
the
that was
touchdown.
excessive celebration.
No, it was something beforehand because the touchdown's been negated. It'll be first down and 15, 16 here. And he's going to look to the air again. He's got Belanger open. They'll knock him down shy of the goal at about the 2-yard line, it looks like. Nice catch and haul in by Victor Belanger.
Great pass by the quarterback. He looked the safety off and just put it right in. In reality, pretty good coverage by the Broncos. That was just where it had to be, right in the middle of that zone, and a really nice throw by the quarterback.
So just lob this one about 7 feet in the air and let Cotoy reach, right? That's about the easy play?
That would be my choice. You got him here on the short side, send him on a wheel route or just a straight fade. Put 83 in a hitch, and you're good to go.
30 seconds left in the half. It's first and goal from the 2. And Little, quick pass in. Belanger will catch, hang on, and the touchdown complete. It's Victor Belanger. Second time's the charm. As this time, no flags are hitting the field. This one will count. And now Langley looking to bring it within a field goal as we head towards halftime here from a dimming Hillside Stadium in Kamloops. The final time on the season here on BCFCTV.com, powered by Remax Treeland Langley and Remax Kamloops. Extra point is good, and with that, it'll be a 3-point game here, 19 seconds to work with.
Barring something disastrous, it looks like the Broncos are going to head into the locker room with the lead at halftime, which is a positive, and I think should be a surprise to a couple of the fans watching or following on Twitter around the league, who probably expected Langley to come out playing for that first place for home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Well, the reporters' picks have not been kind to the Broncos this season. And yet again this week it was a unanimous decision against them from the reporters. But so far they're making a game of it, and you mentioned it. I mean, too little too late on this season perhaps, but they've made some contests as of late, and definitely something to build towards here in the offseason. And you have to think a lot of these guys are coming back hungry, whether here or somewhere else in their career next year.
Yeah, and I mean, you've watched these guys more than I have this year, but I mean, when I see them put up this score and the efforts they've had in their drives, I just wonder, where has this been all year? Why does it have to come in the 10th game of the season? Why can't it happen right away? So it's it's perplexing because I think all of us here in Kamloops want to see this team succeed, especially, you know, we've probably both played sports in our career, and we want to see these young men have some success. And when you see a team go 0-9, 0-10, it's kind of disheartening where you kind of feel for the players. You want them to have that success. You want them to taste victory. And, I mean, they're going for it right now, but where was this in week 1 or week 4 or week 5?
Well, and a lot of turnover in the past few years. They came off those 2 big seasons, one of the best offenses that we've seen in Canadian junior football history. The rebuild taken longer than people may have hoped for. I know that they had, Colby Hankel is one guy. They hope to see him back. That being said, you're happy to see those players move on to the next level, go compete at the youth sports level. But certainly some work to be done, and they've got some building blocks. I know Dino and Brad and company going to look to what they have in the offseason, hope they can get these guys back. And if they can build off this. The majority, it's not too often you see so much of a team able to return as well. So not a ton of graduating players. They can get that recruitment in the offseason, as you mentioned. And, it's 2 weeks in a row, regardless of what the outcome ends up being here tonight. They're taking the top 2 teams in the league right down to the wire at the end of the season. So certainly something to be excited about for the Broncos and for Langley. I think we've seen why they're going to finish 1 or 2 this season.
Yeah, for sure. They have some special athletes over there. Now it's time for them to try and put it together. And hopefully these young Broncos come out of the locker room fired up.
We're going to step aside here. Time for a little halftime break. But your score following the opening 2 quarters, it's the Broncos 17, the Rams 14 here on BCFC TV. That's powered by Remax Treeland Langley and Remax Kamloops. Hey, here we go. Halftime mic check 1 2 at the halftime here. Coming in live, Hillside Stadium. Broncos leading 17-14. We've got a game on hand as we still have 12 minutes up on the clock. We're just doing a nice little webcast mic check as we had some sound uncertainties in that opening half. So we're going to just make sure everything's sounding nice, crisp, and clear for you coming into the last 2 quarters of the season here from Hillside Stadium. Somebody throw a football into the bucket. Throwing footballs into the bucket. And nobody going to come up successful. That's about par for the course. Driver was driving too fast. They're not a sponsor of the webcast. Can't tell you what kind of truck it was.
second half.
Hey, welcome back to Hillside Stadium here on BCFCTV.com. Jamie Shinkuski sitting alongside Mike Facetuber here to bring you this one, the final regular season contest as the Kamloops Broncos lead the Langley Rams 17-14 at halftime, and Kamloops looking their most poised we've seen them this season as they still scrambling to try and find that first win on the season. And on the flip side, Mike, Langley trying to claw their way to a first-place finish. They've clinched at least second following the Valley Huskers' loss at the Vancouver Island Raiders. It was the Raiders 22-14 earlier this afternoon. And, of course, the finale of the BCFC season goes tonight in Kelowna as the Okanagan Sun host the West Shore Rebels. And we'll see, can Langley take it? They want first place without a doubt. Nonetheless, they're going to host a first-round playoff matchup, and that's a team I want to watch in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fired up and ready to go here in the second half, trying to take over the game. They're probably kind of shocked that the Broncos came out and executed so well, especially in that first quarter there. The second quarter, Langley won 7-3, but still respectable for the Broncos, and they have a 3-point lead. Let's see if they can hang on.
Well, the defense has been a strong point. Not only this week, last week they played a really tightly contested game against the Sun, another strong-powered offense, and certainly been a focal point here this evening for the Broncos, despite giving up 2 touchdowns in that opening half. They sure made Langley earn both of them.
Yeah, definitely, and like I said, like you said too, the last 3 games they played really tough, and we'll see if they can carry it on for the next 30 minutes.
Bochernick. The reverse to Soklovsky. He's going to try and find room up the right side. Here comes Gabe Soklovsky through midfield. He'll be brought down by an awkward tackle by the kicker. It's Jaden Sheelan coming up with a tackle as he was knocked down by the blocker. It just happened. Soklovsky ran out of real estate and ran right into him.
Yeah, nice little play there by the Broncos. Come out with the reverse, catch them off. You can see Coach Imoka's pretty happy with the results of that, especially coming from a guy who had so much success at the pro level as a special teams player. The Broncos have had trouble with their special teams, but that was pretty nice.
But from the offensive side of half, Langley's 52-yard line. Vankenet with a handoff to Bochernick. He'll keep it himself this time, scrambling forward gain of about 2 yards. As a nice tackle by a diving Isaiah Okoli.
I don't know if you noticed that, but they put the graduating guard, Derek Waldy, in the backfield beside the quarterback as a fullback, and he was able to pick up blitzing halfback number 26. But yeah, I was surprised it didn't go for more yards, especially with 6 linemen in there with Waldy back as a fullback.
Well, regardless of what the final score is going to be, it's all going to be about the graduating guys moving forward surrounding Derek Waldy and Curtis Muchman as they've played their full 5-year career here for the Broncos. Vankenet evades the sack and just going to throw it away as that one looked to be heading towards Connor McCoy and not going to make it to him.
Yeah, there you get a good look at just how athletic this kid is. He's big, he's strong. He was able to shake off the, potential quarterback sack and get rid of the ball. And, they don't take a loss, and it's still 3rd and 8, but they're going to punt the ball, and hopefully that'll swing 10 to 12 yards in their favor.
And Langley certain to be happy with the quick 2-and-out. As their defense, that was a great play off the return, and they just couldn't take that momentum forward. It'll be Bryce Couture, another graduating player, sending it skyward. Nick Agnoletto back to try and return the punt. He's brought down by a diving Mike Berg. As Berg going to take him down about the 11 or 12-yard line there. There you have it, another one of the Berg brothers getting it done. You love their intensity so far, and you see it yet again.
They're doing a great job, both those guys. I've seen number 10 here, homegrown product from South Cam, Caden Cook. He's a pretty good young player too, so I don't know how old these Berg brothers are, but they got 3 solid DBs with the Bergs and Caden Cook.
It'll be Duncan Little. Still pursuing 2,500 passing yards on the season. He's got to be getting close with the performance he's put out tonight. That one going to be tipped up and out of the hands of James Spencer. And unfortunately for Josh Isaac, he was just too far to come up with a interception here in what another player playing in his final BCFC contest before he graduates and potentially moves on to the next level.
Yeah, he looks like a pretty good specimen at safety. I'm not too sure where he's from or where he played before, but definitely looks like an athlete out there making plays.
It'll be 2nd and 10 here with, well, not much daylight, but lots of time on the clock as we've lost our sunlight here at Hillside Stadium. Quick pass, again going to fall incomplete as Nick Agnoletto was the intended target. And a nice 2-and-out for the Broncos as they answer the nice defense from their counterparts.
That is exactly what you want to do on there. So he went into the cover 2 look, and this time he sent one of the nickel backs on a blitz, and Sam Schlitz just hammered the quarterback. Nice form tackle. The only problem was the quarterback was opened up on his throw, and he hit him right in the chest plate. And he probably has the wind knocked out of him, definitely for sure. But a really good play by Schlitz, a really good call by Coach Wiseman.
And now some concern as Duncan Little getting some attention from the training staff out on the field right now. And you really have to hope for Langley's sake he's going to be okay. You have to wonder if that might be all we see of him this afternoon, as certainly you want home field advantage, but I don't know, I'd say the healthier quarterback going to be much more important at this stage of the game for Langley than home field in the second round.
Definitely, and unless this is just a wind knocked out of him thing, I think, that's a good call. I think we probably won't see him after this. He's getting to his feet now. Doesn't look to be limping too much. I think he did get the wind knocked out of him pretty good.
Yeah, he's going to make his way quite gingerly to the sideline. He did look like they were trying to take a look at something on one of his legs there. And, well, go to the favorite hockey terminology, lower body injury.
Yeah. Don't want to say too much, right?
But he's going to be slowly making his way to the sideline, trying to see if there was another arm warming up there or not. Not as of yet, as they're going to send this punt away, and they'll just concede the 2 points.
Smart play. You never like to give up points, especially when you're down. But
and when your receiver's kicking.
Exactly. You don't want to hamstring yourself back there. And, if you're kicking from your end zone, the odds are they're coming with a block. And, as a punter, you're going to be put in that precarious position of being up in the air. And that makes it even tougher when it's one of the best receivers in the league punting for you.
Well, the Broncos going to make their way back out for the kickoff. No Pocker. Oh, no, he is out there, so maybe another little reverse trick play between Siklowski and Pockernick. They've both shown a lot of speed and prowess carrying the ball here tonight.
Yeah, they both have very similar running styles. They have good vision. They have quick feet. I think Siklowski's a little bit faster once he opens up, but Pockernick's better in space and a stronger runner.
Well, they're sending it back to Pockernick's corner. He'll corral this one down nicely, trying to find a lane up the right side. Doesn't have it. Now he's looking right with some room. Here comes Andrew Pockernick through the middle of the field. Pockernick across center, and he'll be brought down. The crowd erupts here at Hillside Stadium. It was a huge kick return from Pockernick. Add that to his season totals as he's certain to finish the regular season. One of the best kick returners in the league. Came in with the second most yards on kick returns. That's definitely going to push him up over the 450 mark on the season with a couple nice returns here tonight.
Yeah, that's a tough stat to lead in because you're happy to have the lead, but it also means you returned a lot of kicks, so your defense was getting scored on quite a bit.
Out of the shotgun, Vankenet goes right back to Pockernick. He's going to take a high tackle. And Charles Noy with the big tackle. The biased opinions of the press box say perhaps that should have been a penalty, but nonetheless, that's going to not be called by the officials on the field.
That's a strong man right there, just to grab him with one arm and throw him right to the ground, because he had momentum heading upfield, and if he doesn't grab on and throw him back, he's got at least a first down.
I'll call it 2nd and 5 here for the Broncos. They now lead 19-14, and a pass looking for Duneville. That's going to be just a step ahead of him. He was watched closely by J.P. Kalambe. And that'll, yet again, maybe they need to stop having such big returns because they haven't been able to generate anything if they've rumbled past center field following a kick return. But
that's their second 2 and out, and that one there, that's it's tough to see on the last game of the season because that's a timing pattern. That's a chemistry thing with your receivers, and Duneville didn't get off the line as fast as Vankenet was expecting, so that's strictly a rhythm pass. He takes his one step out of the shotgun drop, and as soon as he drops his back foot, he's ready to throw it, but Duneville wasn't where he was supposed to be, and you can see him down there talking to his receiver right now, maybe telling him just get off the line a little bit quicker because he wasn't being impeded by a jam or anything. So, that's a play they definitely like to have back.
another Ram player in some discomfort. Nathan Murray going to make his way off the field under his own power. Have to hope for the best for Murray, as appeared he was a part of the big melee right at the line of scrimmage.
Hopefully the Broncos can pin them deep here again. You got Bird. Oh, they're going fake.
It's a fake. Trent Price brought down right away. Nice shoestring tackle by Ryan Barthelson. If Barthelson didn't get it, that was going to work, but a great diving tackle just to catch the toe of Trent Price.
Yeah, it was drawn up nicely, and like you said, Barthelson made a great play, because if he doesn't do that, Price has got definitely the first down. But regardless of the outcome, you can always second-guess the head coach. I think that's a great call. You're across midfield. You have a 5-point lead. Why not? Why not take a chance? It is the last game of the season. You want to have a little fun. You want to take everything out of the playbook that you've practiced all year and have it had a chance to use.
Looks like we will, in fact, have a new quarterback into the game for the Rams. It's number 13, Tristan Yansu. He'll play it with a handoff for Joseph Carter, and that's not going to get him anywhere. It's a nice defensive stop, as looks like we've got a Bronco in some discomfort on the field.
Yeah, Darby Kwan made a good play to grab that running back. He was able to come off of his left end spot, make the play, and drive him back. I really don't think we'll see the Rams open up too much of their playbook for their backup quarterback. You can expect a lot of runs. Doesn't look like Cottoy's in the huddle right now either. Oh, he is. Yeah, my bad. So I think what you said earlier about first place or self-preservation, I think we can expect to see the Rams go a little more towards self-preservation from now on.
Well, and an opportunity for some of the secondary players here to showcase their talents. Obviously, you're in this league for a reason, and we're going to see. I mean, it was a nice read from Carter coming into his first touches here. We're not going to see DaCosta, at least for the time being as well. So we'll see what kind of lineup they end up going with here for the rest of this second half. But certainly for Langley fans at home, you might see some new numbers called. Yansu stepping back, going to the air. Agnoletto's wide open, going up for it. And that flags are going to fly. And Mike Berg looks like he's going to be the one dinged on the play. He's in disagreement with the call.
Yeah, that's a very close play, but all biases aside, that probably is PI. If he's able to go around his body instead of going through, I think he still makes the play, but just got a little over aggressive there.
a 15-yard penalty after the pass interference play. And, he waited a moment longer. He might have even had an interception attempt, but I think he just mistimed his jump more than anything.
Yeah, just aggressive. He's trying to make a play. He wants to make a play, and just got caught, I guess you could say, with a little too much body on another man's body.
Well, it's Yansu under center again. He'll hand it off. Joseph Carter finds a hole. He'll rumble up the middle. Josh Isaac making a nice stop right about that 10-yard mark.
Yeah, good strong run by Carter. Is able to put his head down, get through the defensive line of the Broncos, who've played a great game today, especially against the run. The pressure could be a little bit better, but they've done a good job of stopping Langley's ground attack, and Carter with a nice 9-yard pickup.
Oh, 2nd and 1 here from the Broncos 33. Yansu under center, and he'll fake the handoff, look to the air. He's got Contoy wide open, up over Josh Isaac, and a huge catch from the big man, the all-star, hauling it down. And you had to wonder when they'd call his number, and there it is. That's the reason he's been one of the top receivers in this league this season. What a play.
Yeah, it's surprising that he only has 10 touchdowns this year. As you had mentioned earlier, but because that's a weapon right there, that kid. He's big. He can go up and get it. He's got great body control. He just showed right there on that play.
Fake again. Yansu has 2 men wide open. Instead, he's going to play it to the concession stand. And so that will be 2nd and goal for Yansu.
Yeah, great pressure by Powell on the blitz there. He did a good job of flushing the quarterback out. Being a right-handed quarterback and you're rolling to your left, he didn't have time to turn his body, get his shoulder square, and that ball, like you said, sailed on him.
So from the 3rd yard marker, they will have their 2nd down. And Yansu yet again taking the snaps for the Rams. Quick pass in. Contoy deflects it into the hands of Liam Stewart. Touchdown, Rams. And they will take their first lead of the afternoon. And a bit of luck on their side with that one. And Liam Stewart, he's heard his number called a lot. This time he'll take it to the house.
Yeah, he's made some nice plays as a receiver. With him and Contoy, they got a good pairing on the left side, the short side of the field. But unfortunate for the Broncos. They were in good position on Contoy, and it just kind of took a bad bounce, and they were able to get the 6 points.
Looks like they're going to go for 2.
Yeah, I don't think they have a kicker.
The kicker came out wearing sweatpants to start the second half, and Yansu under pressure goes right, but Contoy knocked down. He's going to be short, so it's not going to be a converted 2 points. A 1-point contest here, 8:21 remaining in this 3rd quarter. The Rams take the lead but can't convert on the 2 points. Here you're watching BCFC TV, powered by Remax Treeland Langley and Remax Kamloops.
Yeah, not a bad play by Langley. They need to take that maybe 2 yards deeper. He's got that big body. He's got leaping ability. And maybe he just took it for granted because he had the ball, and as soon as he felt a little contact, the ball was able to squirt free. But he has a lot of physical gifts that others should be envious of.
Well, and he went for the dive and couldn't believe that he came up short of the end zone and the goal line just to his left as he landed. So interesting, their kicker will be able to come out and at least take the kickoff, but he's going to put it right on the ground, and it'll go right into the hands of falling Michael Lefebvre. He's not used to doing that. He got a little confused and went right to the deck.
I was wondering why he did, so I had to check the roster sheet, and it has him on the roster as a running back. So you have to think that he might have carried the ball once or twice in his life. I'm confused as to they're putting him back out on the field as a running back.
Putting him back out as a running back. So
Maybe he wants to add yards to his actual rushing totals.
Yeah, he went over the hash mark, and that just took him down. Nonetheless, they'll operate from their own 33. It's Vancanet still in the contest, out of the shotgun with Lefebvre as one option, and he'll hand it off. Sam Hill, the other. He's going to be brought down for a loss. Credit Isaiah Okoli on the tackle with the assistance of about 4 others. And so that's not the start they were looking for. Is this offense yet to even pick up a first down here in this third quarter? They've gone with the early evening temperatures and gone a little cold.
Yeah, they've definitely cooled off. They had it really rolling in that first quarter, and since then it's kind of, like you said, gone with the temperatures. But it'd be nice to see them open up the playbook a little bit. They can get something over the middle if they're able to suck it in with a little play action. If that doesn't work, you can screen or draw it.
Vancanet, he'll connect with Matt White. He's going to need to rumble for a first down. He's going to come up about 4 yards short. And so back out comes Bryce Couture and the punting team. And as the punter, I think you don't want to see too much action, but at least he's getting some touches in his final BCFC game.
That's true. He's got some plays to add to the tape.
Nick Agnoletto, the lone returner, back for the Rams. They've really gone through a turnstile of guys back there without Max Joseph in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, you're missing a really dynamic playmaker, and that could be part of the problem here for the Rams. You know, give it to the Broncos. They're playing hard. They're doing a great job, but this is a team that potentially is a first-place team, and they're not looking like it right now. But I don't want to take away from the Broncos' effort. They, started hot on offense. The defense still is looking pretty good. But not having Max Joseph in the lineup could be causing some problems. It's taken away from their ability to run the ball. It's going to affect them in the return game because that probably is where his biggest strength is.
This offense has still looked pretty strong for Langley without Caudoy, without Joseph. Joseph just going to come up shy of 1,000 offensive yards. He's going to have well over 1,000 all-purpose yards. And really, Caudoy, we've seen him make 2 catches in the game. So a compliment with those 2 guys in the lineup. You know why this team's been hot down the stretch. Agnoletto will take it off the one hopper. And again, it's Berg with the quick tackle. The flags will fly. Not sure he quite gave him enough space to work with.
Well, that's a smart play. Once the ball hits the ground, if there is a no yards, but he might get called for, or he might get a blocking in the back call. But once the ball's on the ground, a no yards penalty is only 5 yards. And we've been taught at different levels to actually just go after the returner. Don't even worry about the 5 yards, because if you give them too much space and you're backing up and they hit a seam, that could turn into 60, 70-yard touchdown. So take the 5.
So it's a 10-yard penalty for an illegal block against Raheem Richards of the Rams. And I'm sure how things have shaken out to start this third quarter, the Broncos will be happy to see a penalty go the other way. And again, another fantastic tackle from Mike Berg, as he's been a dynamic player, both special teams and defensively here tonight.
Here we go. Back him up. You got a backup quarterback in. You're going to have 1st and 15 deep in your own zone. The running game really hasn't been doing much. I think now it's time for the Broncos to put some pressure on these guys. Obviously, you have to look out for Caudoy and Stewart. On the other side, you got Agnoletto. So if you're able to, put your coverage focus on those 3 guys and get after this quarterback, you might be able to force him into a bad throw and get a turnover.
We haven't seen a ton of Yansu's arm, as he's opted to run the ball more often than not coming in, but he did convert on the touchdown on his last drive. Yansu open, backfield, going to the air all the way, and that pass finds the turf right between everybody.
Yeah, that's Agnoletto got a little bit timid going across the middle there. The ball was, in front of him. That's a tough situation where you have to lay your body out, and going over the middle has it's been tough for a lot of receivers to make that play. But in that case, you just got to sell out. He also might have thought that was going for someone behind him because Cotoy was pretty close to him as well.
Another offside on the offense, and they'll decline it. Bring up 2nd and 15, so really the Broncos just need to come up with a big, likely through the air stop here, and they can come up with the ball right back. Yansu, all kinds of Rams heading downfield, balls up, and it's knocked down yet again. Mike Berg making the play for the Broncos, and Nick Agnoletto arguing for an interference call. He's not going to get it. And the defense still looking strong for the Broncos here this afternoon.
Much better job that time by Michael Berg. He was able to flow towards the ball, and he did a good job of not kind of like keeping himself from going through the receiver. He waited until the ball was up at its peak. He let the receiver jump, and then he jumped right after him and knocked the ball down. Big play by the receiver. I want to know where these guys are. I think they're Vernon boys. If I remember, they played at Vernon Secondary School. I could be wrong, but they're both pretty good football players. Kamloops was lucky to have them.
Well, that punt again going to be more skyward than forward, bouncing into the hands of Soklovsky. He'll look left, and Cotoy is going to be the one to make the tackle. The punter coming all the way upfield to stop Soklovsky in his tracks. That's a big man making a big hit.
He got down there quick and just erased Soklovsky. In that situation, when the ball bounces, you got the defense retreating. You figure you got at least 3 or 4 steps before you have to worry about making a move. And the minute he took off upfield, he was just wiped out by Cotoy. Special player.
I'll seeing some different looks on the Broncos offense here. Ian Finstad, Pritchard, and again, Matt White, another receiver, is over the middle looking for Ian Finstad, not going to find that complete. Bolte Denoya with a nice deflection defensively.
That was the right read by Vankenet, but that was not the best pattern by Finstad. He got out of his break pretty high and was unable to keep speed, and the DB did a good job coming downhill and knocking that out. I think he's got to get back to his 2-3 main receivers if they want to sustain any type of drive.
Under pressure, is going to fade it off to Pockernick. He's going to rumble forward. Looks like they're going to be able to get their first down here of the third quarter. And we will call in, move the chains, first down Broncos. And again, in some discomfort, we saw him banged up earlier, Nick Soros. On the D-line for the Rams, looking to the sideline, hoping a substitution might come his way.
Well, win or lose, Langley is definitely going to they're definitely going to remember this game, that's for sure.
Definitely going to be some ice packs handy for the long trip home. As a nice pitch out for Pockernick. He's going to rumble up the sideline, and a nice tackle defensively. Believe that's Anthony Blackwell who was in pursuit. And a gain of about 3 on the play, maybe 4 depending where they spot it. And so it'll be 2nd and 7 for the Broncos.
You got to think the Broncos are pretty close to being in 3-down territory here. So the playbook's wide open here for Coach Neufeld. He's not necessarily looking to get 7 yards. Anything between 4 and 5 would also work.
Vankenet, all kinds of pressure coming his way as nobody open. That one's just going to go up, and Ian Finstad, the closest receiver in the vicinity. What a pass rush from the Langley Rams. There was 3 players in his face before Vankenet even looked up.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of time, didn't allow the receivers to get open. They also didn't have a lot of patterns coming across his passing windows. There was no one over the middle. They had 1 receiver down here to the right, and they had 3 kind of pinned into the sidelines up top. And that's where he was supposed to go, to the left side, but because there was so much pressure coming from the left, they had to flush him out. And I don't care how strong your arm is, you're not getting it all the way back across the field, especially on the run.
Well, he did look up, like you mentioned, tons of space to work with on the near side of the field. Unfortunately for the Broncos, There wasn't a receiver in the vicinity. Out comes Bryce Couture again here in this third quarter with just over 3 minutes remaining. The Rams, they lead by 1 as they look to at least take a temporary hold on first place. That ball going to bounce wide of Agnoletto. It's going to be in the end zone, and a flag will drop as Agnoletto picks it up right on the edge of the end zone. So we'll see how they rule this. No yards. Do they get the point? There's some debates happening up in the press box, and we'll wait to see how they award it here.
I'm not too sure how that goes down either.
I just have a microphone. Good thing I don't have to make the decision. Let's tie it up. Come on. Make it interesting. Could tell Agnoletto didn't want to give up even a single point on that play, though. These guys want first. You can tell. They have faith in West Shore tonight.
Yeah, and West Shore is going into Kelowna pretty pissed off. They had 0 All-Stars. They have a point to prove. I mean, they were the defending not defending. They made it to the Cullen Cup Championship last year. They've had some kind of turnover at the top, you would say. They have Coach Beattie, who's now taken over there. He coached at Kelowna, won a couple Coach of the Year awards, built a pretty good program when he was there, and he's really hoping to stick it to the sun when he goes back tonight.
No point on the play. No yards is the call. Ball will be spotted on the 15, and much to your point, everybody wants to make the playoffs, but once that ship has sailed, next best thing, play spoiler.
That's right.
And finish your season on a win. You're seeing the Broncos here playing with a lot of heart and hustle. You want to finish on a winning note. You have to think West Shore is going to be much the same later this evening.
Yeah, they're going to go into the Apple Bowl mad.
Good news for Rams faithful watching at home. Duncan Little back into the game under center. Handoff there to Joseph Carter, who rambles forward. They're going to give him the first down before the spot. Credit the tackle to graduating player and a fifth-year Bronco in Curtis Muchman. Got 2 runners behind him, and it'll be a handoff yet again to Joseph Carter. This time not going to find the same success as he'll be brought down for a short gain.
Yeah, again, good job by number 60 there for the Broncos, Damian Person. You know what, with him and with, I forget the other guy's name, Logan Fields, I think they got 2 good young defensive linemen that they can build around. They got, looks like, a couple good players in the back end, a couple good linebackers. So, yeah, I guess to your point earlier, they are a young team. They're not graduating a lot of players, and they have the potential to grow together next year and the year after as a group, and especially with the young quarterback in tow.
Oh, and they credit the tackle to the other Berg and Andrew right in the mix again. That pass up, caught by Belanger. He'll dive forward for a first down, and looks like Duncan Little hasn't missed a beat coming back into the game.
Yeah, I think he just had the wind knocked out of him, and now he's back. He'll probably try to lead them on a scoring drive right here, well, obviously. But he's going to, if they get in the end zone, I don't see him playing much longer into the fourth quarter.
A little under center again. He'll hand it off for Carter. Finds a hole. Here comes Joseph Carter trying to get through the D. Looks like enough for a first down, although a flag coming on the near side.
Yeah, Agnoletto was about 14 yards offside right there. So
that's not even as far as they got off the rush.
That's going to be taken back.
Yeah, both officials from the line of scrimmage had that one. So Agnoletto he'll want to redeem himself here, but at least Little's got a pretty good arm himself from.
He definitely does. I think you said he's approaching 2,500 yards passing on the year?
He came in with 2363, so you have to think he's well to hit 150. He's had 5 games over 300 passing yards on the season, and I think you can see why here tonight.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive number. Anything over 2,300 yards is nothing to sneeze at.
That one falling short, looking like Agnoletto and his QB just getting their signals a little crossed. It was closer to Mike Berg than anybody else on the field. As Agnoletto came in as the third best receiver on this team, his body language would indicate that he's wished he'd had a couple more catches he thought he could have in this one, but he's still had a pretty good game for himself so far.
Yeah, he actually has older brother Alex, who was playing on the D line for Langley when I was coaching, and he was a thorn in our side. Really good D tackle. I can't remember what school he went to, but he went on to a university sports career as well. Great.
And a sack. Here come the Broncos. It's Darby Kwan on the sack, and he's fired up.
Nice play. Lang was trying to set up the screen there. Good job by the interior D line to stop that. And Kwan just, took advantage of the quarterback not being able to throw and cleaned it up. Great play by the Bronco defense.
And so that will expire this third quarter. It's a 1-point game here in Kamloops, 20-19. The Rams lead, trying to, at least for the moment, take first place before the Okanagan Sun can answer with their 7 p.m. kickoff. And so we've certainly set up a finish here as the sun starts to set in Kamloops. You're watching BCFCTV.com, powered by Remax Treeland Langley and Remax Kamloops. Jamie Shinkuski joined by Mike Facetuber here at Hillside Stadium for the final time this season as the Kamloops Broncos look to turn the page on an unfortunate losing season for them, and the Langley Rams look to turn the page to the next season, which is the playoffs. And the way it's shaping up, Mike, it's anybody's title this year more than ever. Yeah,
it's unfortunate that the Broncos weren't able to join in on the party, but you had 4 or 5 teams fighting for a playoff positioning up until a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. But the last 3 games the Broncos have played, they've looked really sharp. They played Vancouver Island tough, they've played Okanagan tough, and they're playing Langley tough right now. And no one's taken, even though most of the reporters are picking against the Broncos, the teams know they have to earn these wins playing against this young group of players.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, the last time a unanimous pick went the other way was after that 1-3 start by Langley. The reporters unanimously picked against them, and they answered in a big way.
and it's been 5 straight since, I believe, hasn't it?
So the punt not going the way Langley would have liked. They're going to give some nice field positioning to Reed Vankenet and company to work with. They're going to hope to see a little more success here in the fourth than they saw in the third, only able to pick up a first down on one of their drives.
Yeah, let's see if Coach Neufeld can draw something up here, figure out what plays are going to work against this Rams defense, because they have had some success. They're going back to the bunch set.
Some pressure coming. Quick pass away. Tyus Duneveld, he'll catch it and get forced out of bounds. We'll see if they give him anything of a gain, or they're just going to... Looks like they're going to spot it right about... A little confused by the... Now they'll figure it out. Right back at the line of scrimmage here. Maybe a loss of 1.
Yeah, it's a pretty poor spot. He would definitely had 1 or 2 yards, but still kind of like a pointless play, 1 or 2 yards.
Low snap. Vankenet recovers. Going over the middle. It's picked. Nice interception. Anthony Blackwell, and he'll rumble forward, be knocked down by the QB himself. And the second interception thrown on the night by Reed Vankenet, and he's not going to like that one as... Well, it was a dart right out of his hands. He had a couple receivers cutting, but terrific read by Blackwell to pick up the interception.
Yeah, Blackwell did a great job of drifting into that hook to curl zone. If Vankenet just would have sat on the underneath receiver and waited, not even waited, just given it to him because he was crossing the hash marks over here. He had room to run. Reed makes some Vankanen makes some bad mistakes at quarterback, but I think that has to do with his age because he does have the talent. He makes a lot of great plays. But, you know, these are mistakes that are normal for a kid coming out of high school and coming up to junior level. It's a little bit faster, a little bit more complex.
Rolling right is Little. Has a man open in Belanger. That's going to sail into the Broncos bench.
And Little's pass to Belongo is incomplete. That'll bring up
There's a little bit of chatter on the near side as Belanger took a look at the official, maybe thinking there might have been some interference, but I don't think he was coming up with that ball if he was Cottoy's size.
That's true. That was tough task for a guy like that to catch that ball.
Well, 2nd and 10 from the 50. And Duncan Little. Out of the shotgun again, Little. Looking for Stewart. Big hit coming from Dylan Young, and he's going to give a flex to the bench. That should be a quick 2-and-out, and Stewart's feeling that one. Some nice sportsmanship from Curtis Muchman to stop and see if his opponent's okay after that big tackle from his counterpart.
That was a great tackle. Unfortunately, the quarterback led him right into that, but nothing wrong with that tackle at all. I mean, what are you going to do? Unfortunately, the receiver is down, but he didn't go high. He didn't target his chest. He went low, didn't go for his legs, just hit him right in the meat of his body, and I don't know what they're discussing here. Hopefully nothing. But a great hit. Actually, also on the play, you had a really great block by the Langley running back who was able to catch Sam Schlitz coming on a blitz right up through the guard tackle and able to give the quarterback some time. But unfortunately, it ended in the receiver getting hurt a bit. But great hit by Dylan Young.
Yeah, much like you saw earlier with Little, it looks like one of those wind knocked out of you situations, and you know, the body language of Stewart just seems like a bit of frustration the way his game's gone, that he's going to have to come off for at least a little while. But
yeah, Stewart's played a great game. He's made some nice catches. A good receiver.
You know, 13 minutes to go. We'll see if he'll make his way back into the contest. The Rams continue to lead by 1, but another nice stop by the Broncos defense brings Cottoy back out for a punt. Pockerneck, the lone man, back to return. That is another skyward kick from Cottoy. Ball's loose. Now Pockerneck will come up with it. The flags, of course, will fly. And we're going to see a couple guys getting into it between Colton DeYoung of the Rams and Brody Rogers of the Broncos. And as soon as they heard the whistle, a nice pat on the shoulders for each guy. You like to see the sportsmanship after they have such a big battle on the field, trying to earn each inch of positioning.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a tough game. Any sport, hockey, any contact or collision sport, I should say. You know, you don't want see anyone get hurt, especially after the whistle. So just break your grapple hold and walk off and wish each other luck on the next play.
And so often in this league, when they're in that right age where you might see tempers boil over, it's always good to see the sportsmanlike plays like that after some good hard-fought battles. Vankanet and company, they trail by 1 here. 13-10 remains. There's a little confusion on getting the clock to move there, and an odd-timed whistle, and we'll continue on here as we hit the 13-minute mark. Vankanet under pressure, completes to Duneveld. He'll rumble forward right to midfield, and a first down for the Broncos. And you said it, Mike, Vankanet needs to simplify. Go back to your top guys, and he did just that. You want 18 or you want 81 if you're in blue, and Tyus Duneveld making the play and getting the first down.
Yeah, especially with this young quarterback. That's from the games I've seen, they need to keep it simple for him. There's nothing wrong with going right back to it again or going back to it in 2 plays, but it seems like they run it once or twice and then that's it. And then you have something like this where they try a jet sweep that hasn't worked all year. And
it won't work here either. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
It almost seems like sometimes the coaches are trying to, I don't know, reinvent something, but there's nothing wrong with just keeping it simple. Running, a hitch make it 2nd and 5, make it 2nd and 4. There's no need to make anything too complicated. It is actually a real simple game.
Right in the middle again, making the play is number 58, Nick Soros, and he's just been that guy right thorn in the O-line side all night as Vankenet going up with a prayer. Duneveld comes away with it. Tyus Duneveld takes the jersey tug. He's brought down at the 5-yard line. That ball had no business being caught, and Tyus Duneveld made it happen.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like a simple game. You got a 6'3" receiver against a 5'9" cornerback. He's playing close. Nothing special about that besides obviously the catch, but it's just drop back. My guy's bigger than your guy. I'm going to throw it up, let him go make a play, and that's exactly what he did. That should happen a lot more, especially with these two big wideouts, Salipa and Duneville, that they got.
Well, the advantage of not having a replay, there was some ooze up here, maybe a hold not called on the play, and that's going to go in the Broncos' favor as from the 7. Through the uprights, has a streaking Salipa, and he's not going to have enough room. He'll head to the track. And just a little bit too much mustard behind that bomb there from Vankenet.
Yeah, the O-line's got to pinch down a little bit more, especially in the red zone here. You know they're coming. It's going to be cover 1. It's going to be man-on-man. They're going to send 6 or 7 defensive players at you. Vankenet just didn't have the space or time to step into that throw, so it sailed on him, and he's got the goalpost right there. So, I mean, nice play call, nice design. You got your best receiver one-on-one in space, but the O-line has to block for him.
Oh, 2nd and goal here from the 7. Vankenet will take the snap. Under pressure, as you foreshadowed. He'll get it away. Salipa, again, the closest man there, and yet again the ball will find the running track surrounding the field. So out comes Bryce Couture because a field goal takes the lead.
Yeah, again, pressure came. They flushed him out of the pocket. That Charles Nwoye of the Rams actually is a big guy, but he looks like he has some wheels. Vannegut put his head down, looked like he wanted to take the corner on him, but realized after 4 or 5 steps he wasn't getting there, and made a good decision to throw the ball away, not take the sack, not take the loss, and make an easy chip shot here for the field goal for the Broncos to, like you said, take the lead with about 10, 11 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
And he's not one of the all-stars on defense, but have to think he must not have been too far off. As like you said, big man with some wheels. Couture just getting that chip shot up and over the block and through for 3 points. Bryce Couture. We don't know what the final is going to be here, Mike, but here's a guy who's doing everything he can to put a nice finishing touch on his junior football career.
Yeah, I wonder, I'm not too sure if he was kicking for them last year, but he's proved to be pretty consistent on his kicks. He's 2 for 2. He's got both his converts down.
I think make that 5 for 6 on the year. Kicking's been a struggle for this team.
Yeah,
him and Landon Monk have kind of split it, and neither really able to take the starting position. Obviously, Bryce has as of late, and as you said, he's found that poise.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's done well.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a problem for the Broncos for a couple years now. They did have one really good kicker years ago, Aaron Smith, great punter, but work actually took him away from a couple games because of his job. So there were days when I was coaching when we didn't have a kicker on the road, so there was a lot of going for it on 3rd down.
Well, Jansu back in under center. Keeps it, runs into the bench, but it looks to be a penalty against the Rams. As they now trail by 2. So holding call against number 27, Joseph Carter, will send them back 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20 here for the Rams. 10:16 on the clock, and they're trailing by 2. A position that the Broncos certainly have not found themselves in much this season, up late in the 4th quarter. And I guess the question is, can they hang on or even extend upon this lead?
Yeah, and you can hear the fans are starting to get into the game now too, and it's always good to see because sports town like Kamloops needs something to keep the people around. You got the Blazers. If the Broncos can get on board and start being a consistent winner, it'd be great to see these they do have great fans as is already, but it'd be great to see the fans or the stands consistently packed. Give Kamloops something to cheer about.
Huge gain on that play as Yansu faked a handoff, went deep and connected with James Spencer, towed the line and able to get into offensive field position here. 9:27 on a ticking scoreboard. It's 1st and 10 from the offensive 48. And it's Tristan Yansu under center here for the Rams late in this contest. He'll hand it off. And Carter rumbling forward, has a hole, can't get around Josh Isaac. But a huge run, a gain of about 30 yards there for Joseph Carter.
Yeah, he found a seam on that right side and was able to get through. You had Cotoy coming in motion to the left side, and all the attention was focused on him. So everyone shifted over, and they were able to exploit the backside linebacker in a one-on-one, and Carter was able to outrun him.
Oh, fresh set of downs here from the offensive 21. Yansu having a nice drive for himself here. He'll fake a handoff, look up the middle, caught, no, it's going to be popped loose just out of the fingertips. Spencer did well to evade the pick. Took some big contact trying to haul that one in. It looked like it was going right into the breadbasket of Josh Isaac.
Yeah, it looks like, it was 2nd down and 10 here. Hopefully Broncos send some pressure, make sure they have their eye on Cotoy and they have their eye on Belanger. And I'm not too sure if Stewart's back in the game, but if you can shut down Belanger and Cotoy here, send some heat, it'd be a bonus.
No Liam Stewart, but definitely a lot of possible targets here for the Rams. 2nd and 10, they'll look to go again. Yansu stepping back. Now he'll go up himself. He's got lots of room to go. He's going to get just shy of a 1st down, but likely opportunity for them to hand off to one of their running backs who have done admirably in this, although it looks perhaps like they might bring out a kicking team.
Yeah, he's going to be about 2 or 3 yards short, and he doesn't look to be the fastest quarterback out there. He does have some weight, and if he's able to put his head down, he might be able to get that 1st down. But with Little already on the sidelines, maybe he was told by the coaching staff, just get down if you see yourself becoming in trouble.
I was waiting for the contact because he does look like a guy who's he's built more like Trent Price than his quarterback counterpart, and I thought he was going to break a couple tackles to get the 1st down. But we're going to see Jaden Sheelan come out and attempt this field goal.
Well, he is on the roster as a kicker, but I'm not too sure why he didn't attempt the kick earlier or why they didn't put him in the 3rd quarter here. But we'll see what he's got. He's got a chance to give the Rams the lead back with about 7 minutes left in the 4th.
Oh, yeah, as you mentioned, just inside that 7-minute mark here on BCFC TV, powered by RE/MAX Treeland Langley and RE/MAX Kamloops. 7-11, we're going to get the convenience store score clock reset here.
Free Slurpees.
As Sheelan looks to complete what would make the first field goal of the night here for the Rams. We haven't seen him come out. I'm always curious, what the story is when a kicker has such a high number.
He probably played a little receiver in high school, I'm guessing.
Depth receiver converted to try and make this field goal, perhaps. Kick is up, and it's going to sail through.
Great kick.
So 7:07 reads on the score clock, and Langley retakes their 1-point lead here in the 4th quarter. And you have to wonder what either team's offense has left. We're going to see at least a few possessions each way. And if Reed Vankenet perhaps can come up with the exciting story to end his rookie season.
Yeah, you want to see him get a win. Looks like the Broncos are going to elect to have the Rams kick off instead of taking it at the 35. We'll see how that works out for them. But you do have Pockernick back there, who's one of the better kick returners, as you mentioned earlier.
Well, their returns have been fantastic in this half.
Definitely.
Few of them got them past that midfield yellow line. You can see it your screens at home, and it's been stalwarted by this strong Langley defensive presence here in the second half. Will be corralled there. Andrew Berg up out to take that kick return. No Soklovsky after he took the big hit on that other punt return. Berg will take it to their 28, 29-yard line to start this drive.
I'd just like to mention that these Rams white uniforms, those are probably my favorite uniforms right now in junior football. Those look nice. Classy look.
And from the press box, you appreciate the really big numbers.
That's right.
And any other teams listening, take note. We like the big numbers, and coming under pressure, and
I think he got it back to the line of scrimmage.
I'm gonna see how they call this, whether he got it away or if they're going to award a sack. Nonetheless, fantastic pressure from Colton DeYoung.
In the grass, they're going to award the sack.
So that's number 36, Colton DeYoung on the sack. As two guys really just slipped right through the O-line there and were able to get to Vankenet before he had time to make any play. 2nd and 20 here for the Broncos rookie under center. More pressure coming, and that ball getting away quickly as look at the stare down from Charles Noy. As yet again, the big man, you said he's got wheels, he's getting through, and no time whatsoever. Can't fault Vankenet on this chance. He had no opportunity to make a play on either opportunity.
No, the first play they had him in an RPO, which I know you've heard me say last week and the week before, but it's what the Philadelphia Eagles used. But there's no threat of a run, so why are we running the RPO on first down? And then the second down, you're running into a bootleg where you haven't been able to beat this number 99 Charles Nwoye to the corner once. Well, you did beat him once, but that's it. So it just leaves me confused where it's just like you have the size, you have the advantage at the receivers. Use it to your advantage. Make the game simple for this kid who is young. I guarantee he's going to feel some frustration. He just led them on a decent drive, and then, you come back and you make it difficult on him. I'd like to see him put in a better situation at times. 6 minutes left, you can hitch it, you can slant it, you can quick out it. Nothing has to, you don't have to try and fool everybody all the time. You can go man up, straight up.
So an intentional grounding penalty called against the Broncos here, and third and most of the field here to go for the Broncos from their own 10-yard line. Couture back to punt it. Agnoletto, the lone returner. And Couture's going to let it fly. It's a nice high spiraling kick. Agnoletto recovers, and he's going to step to the middle. He's got some blocks. He's got some room, and he's going to go right into the hands of the awaiting Mike Berg to make the tackle. But that's going to be some terrific field positioning for the Rams to work with.
Really nice kick, really good coverage by the or pretty good coverage, I should say, by the Broncos. But yeah, great kick by Couture. He looks good out there tonight.
So looking to expand upon their 1-point lead will be Tristan Yansu and company with just over 6 minutes remaining in this fourth and final quarter on the Broncos season as they look to knock off the Rams' hopes of taking first place and find themselves in the win column for the first time this season. Yansu fakes the handoff. He's going to be brought down by a trio of Broncos, and they're going to take a flag. Well, tough to tell from the broadcast booth at what point the whistle may have gone, but by the reactions of the players on the field, you have to think that was a late hit coming on the sack attempt.
Schlitz has made a couple good plays coming on these pressures, and you know, he didn't get the initial tackle, but you could see what he was doing. The quarterback was about to bring the ball up, and he swiped at it to try and cause a turnover. Smart play. He was able to still, you know, wrap him up, but unfortunately they're going to get called for throwing him to the ground after the whistle.
And you could see the coaching staff of the Broncos understandably irate on the sidelines after a 15-yard penalty. Going to march it back the other way, a first down coming, so that's some luck on the side of the Langley Rams, and for the Broncos, that could be a real big swing of momentum here late in the fourth quarter as they take a huge loss into a huge gain instead.
Yeah, that's 30 yards, 35 yards of field where Yansu would have been down.
So Yansu under center again. Takes the snap. This time he'll hand it off to Carter. Rumbles forward for a gain of about 5. And really after the big loss, that's the safe play moving forward. May as well get them right back. We know that's certainly in field goal range after we saw Jaden Sheelan make the last one from about that distance.
Yeah, it looks like they'll try and play pretty conservative here, although if I were the Broncos, I'd be looking for a play action fake or be wary of one and watch them trying to hit over the top to Katoy.
2nd and 5 here for Yansu. Steps back, quick pass, finding Agnoletto. He's going to rumble forward. That should be enough for a first down, Rams. As Nick Agnoletto finally hearing his number called, making the completion after just he's been that energizer bunny for the offense all night for Langley.
Yeah, and even when Katoy doesn't get the ball, he takes the attention, and Agnoletto is able to slip underneath. He was lined up in one of the tighter slot backs, and he was just running a vertical, so the DBs kind of had their eyes on him, and Agnoletto just slipped underneath. So he's a good receiver to play beside. He takes a lot of attention.
1st and goal from the 9. Yansu steps back, knocked down by Muchman. Curtis Muchman making a nice play in what's going to be some of his final junior football action. And hey, it's his birthday. Happy birthday to Curtis. That's a nice little present for him. I'm sure he'd like to wrap it with a win as well.
Yeah. The PA announcer just kind of shamed us all for not knowing it was his birthday, it sounded like.
I'll put it on the roster, then we know for sure. Oh, 2nd and goal from the same spot. Yansu fakes the handoff, rolls right, has a few options open, looking deep to the corner. Agnoletto catches it, but lands on the track as flags fly in the process.
Holding on the offense.
So we'll see. Yep. Muchman making the decision for the defense.
I think the Broncos' only 2 preseason players to be ranked in the CJFL top 50 were Walde and Munchman, who are both on their way out. 5 years at the program. That's pretty impressive. They've, I know that article talked about the loyalty and all that. They did a couple solid leaders here. They stuck out through 5 years. They've been to the playoffs, and now they're kind of ending their career on the other end, but just good character guys, guys you need on a team like this. You know, keep kid spirits up day in and day out.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, good community members too, helping out, coaching high school football around here, helping mentor some of the up-and-coming guys. As back out for the field goal attempt is Jaden Sheelan, about 17 yards out. High snap, balls up and through, so that 3 points will count, and it'll be a 4-point lead here. 3:40 left on the clock. As the Rams' sights still firmly set on first place, at least till the Sun can have an answer here later this evening.
There we go. They're going to take it at the 35. They kind of learned their lesson last time. They lost 8 yards by not taking it at the 35. This way you get the offense on the field right away. You got a play ready to go. You know where you're at, and it's you can choose which hash mark you want. Let's see if they keep it simple and just let this young quarterback march down.
Well, they're going to need a touchdown to make it interesting. 3.5 remaining. Here's Reed Vankenet. Steps left, looking for Pockernick. And that one's going to fall behind him. Well, falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 from that spot on the 35. They're going to need a big play here to make it happen.
Yeah, if they can get Pockernick the ball out in space, that's a great idea, but I would delay it a little bit. He flew out to the flats right away. Let the linebackers come up and then leak him out. Get him in behind them right away.
2nd and 10, under pressure, fakes one. Now he's brought down by the second, and that'll be number 33. Isaiah Okoli with the sack after, I mean, how many guys does Vankenet need to evade before he can get a block or two in there?
Yeah, the O-line was faced with a lot of pressure on that play right there. And unfortunately, Vankenet never got a chance to get in a rhythm on that drive, the last couple drives. One of the better weapons since the first quarter, actually, for the Broncos has been Couture's punting. And the Broncos defense has done a pretty good job.
Well, credit the pass rush from the Langley Rams.
Definitely.
Vankenet has had no time in this second half. And every time, whether he's made a play or not, there's been a white jersey standing right beside him.
For sure. They've got after him all game. The Broncos O-line did a good job at the start, especially in the run game. But right now they're just being outplayed.
Spiraling punt from Couture is going to come
very
close to the near side. Couture wanted to get it himself. Just unable to get there. Recovered by Ryan Barthelson. You'll remember maybe that was the game-swinging play. Ryan Barthelson made that shoestring tackle on the fake punt attempt from Trent Price. Since then, really the offense has been stymied for the Broncos.
That's right, yeah.
And yet again, there he is making a special teams play.
Yeah, smart play by Barthelson. Obviously, he's not the intended returner, but he is able to jump on that ball. He could see, or probably knew that the punter was coming in, and just jump on it and make sure you retain possession.
At this point, for the Broncos, you have to think they're going to need to force a turnover, which they've been unable to do so far in this contest. Hand off to Carter. As expected, Joseph Carter going to be brought down. Nice tackle by Casey Powell right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I'm impressed with his play. I'm impressed with 44 Jace Roberts' play. The safety, Dylan Young, Darby Kwan. There's some good young players on that Broncos defense.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
2.5 remain. The Rams leading by 4. A victory gives them first place at least for the next couple hours, as they've cemented home field advantage in the opening round of playoffs. It's Yansu handing off yet again, trying to rumble forward and not getting too far is Joseph Carter.
Oh, number 44 just took a pretty nice dive right there.
And so a quick 2 and out, giving the Broncos some life late here in this. Looks like Sam Hill coming out, Pockernick as well, as they are going to need a big return here and then a big drive. They've got time on the clock.
Yeah, 2 minutes is a long time in Canadian football rules, especially with the clock stopping to reset. I've seen a lot of crazy plays happen in the last 2 minutes of a football game. I'm trying to find the Okanagan Sun score, but I cannot see it.
Well, that game should kick off in about 25 minutes.
That's why I don't see it.
Very high punt. Pockernick trying to corral it on a few bounces, and that'll be no yards, force them out of bounds, and give them possession from about the 20-yard line, maybe 25, depending on where they ruled them out. It looks like they're going to spot that at the 20. 23, perhaps. March it forward to about the 23.
All right, so we got 87 yards to go.
87 yards to go, 1:48 to do it.
Whole line's really got to step up. Langley's bringing the heat.
Haven't seen a timeout called by the Broncos.
No,
So they
I
should
don't
have
think I've seen one from both teams.
full arsenal of timeouts to work with. Quick pressure over the middle. Matt White's open, and he falls, making the reception. He knew he could have got more on it. You saw him just check over his shoulder as soon as he made the reception. You have that slap of the football as he touched his knees to the turf and went, I could have gone for it. But hey, make the safe play. Hurry up offense. Vancanet under pressure. He's not going to get rid of it. Another sack from Isaiah Okoli here in this fourth quarter. He's been a thorn in the side of Reed Vancanet all night.
Yeah, he's been in his face for pretty much the entire second half.
He's been looking up, seeing doubles, either threes or nines, and he's in trouble. Oh, make that 2nd and 15 here after that sack. And Vancanet's going to need a big play. Looks like some pressure coming, and it will. Going to go near side. Tyus Duneveld unable to come away with it. And that'll fall incomplete. So a big decision. You think you pretty much have to go for it at this point.
Yeah, you have to. Even if they don't get it, if they can hold the Rams to 3, we're still talking touchdown. Takes us into OT. I just got told there's no OT in regular season by the boys on the left. The Okanagan Sun game hasn't started yet. I'm looking for the scores. It's week 10, folks. Week 10.
Vancanet under pressure again, escapes it. He's got Duneveld open. Can't come up with it. Oh, so close. He had victory on the tip of his tongue. And instead, it's going to be a turnover on downs. It's that close, but that about writes the story on the Broncos season. Close, but not quite on so many occasions.
Yeah, that's too bad. Great play to step up, avoid pressure, put it out there. It was there. It was close. Tough catch. You know, they're talking on the sidelines right now. You're not going to say, oh, he should have thrown it here or he should have caught that. That was a close play.
And he was gone. He was away to the races.
Definitely.
It was oh so close, so they need a big stop. You have to think the run game is going to be favorable here for Langley, trying to run as much clock as possible. It's Yansu under center again. He'll spin and give it right back to Joseph Carter. He'll be brought down, just about gain of a couple. And so
we'll see what Coach Wiseman can draw up here to stop them, make it 3rd down, hopefully force them to punt. Looks like the Broncos have called a timeout. Oh, no, there goes the clock.
So no rush at all from Langley here. Here comes Yansu under center again. Got 2 men in the backfield behind him in Carter and Cusker, and it'll go right back to Carter. He's going to rumble forward. That'll be a 1st down and then some. He's not done yet. Joseph Carter having himself a terrific second half. And now Josh Isaac's slow to get up, but he looks all right. I don't think you're taking him out of his last 40 seconds of junior football eligibility. One of 6 guys, say, with just another nod of our hats. Derek Waldy and Curtis Muchman, and 5th-year players. Fantastic BCFC careers, as well as Josh Isaac, Hudson Barabos, Samuel Schlitz, and Bryce Couture, all playing in their final junior football contests here tonight, as they will run out of age eligibility following this contest as the clock ticks past the remaining 30 seconds of the night. Looks like Langley set to just take this one for a W.
Well, that was actually a pretty entertaining way to end the season.
Curtis Muchman, he's just going to run through and get his name on the ticket one last time.
Yeah, good effort by the boys. Congratulations and well done to all those moving on from junior football. And looks like the Broncos will be, on the recruiting trail hopefully as soon as this postseason's over and build on the young core that they already have. So thanks for letting me do this, Jamie.
Well, back-to-back weeks. They are close but not quite against the top teams in the league. The final score, 26-22. The Langley Rams take it. They move into first place, and we'll see. They need to await the result of the Sun game that's going to kick off in just moments here. And the Broncos, unfortunately, they'll sail away to an 0-10 season. They're going to, as you mentioned, Mike, they want to flip the page here on this season and head into recruiting. So all the best of luck to the 4 teams heading into the postseason. For the Broncos, congratulations to all these young men for working their hearts out throughout this year. And all the best to them moving forward. To the 6 graduating players, we wish them the best in their careers moving forward. On behalf of Mike Facetuber, my name's Jamie Shinkuski. Thanks for tuning in. You've been watching BCFC TV, powered by Remax Treeland Langley, Remax Kamloops. The final score yet again, it's the Rams 26, the Broncos 22. For the final time on this season, good night from Hillside Stadium.